Welcome to the Chevrolet ALCS pregame show on Fox.
Game 5 of the ALCS saw one of the grittiest performances of Justin Verlander's career.
Verlander was outstanding here tonight.
In a drama-filled game, Detroit's offense exploded in the 6th.
His hammer way back and gone.
But the Rangers' biggest bat struck again.
That ball is history. Nelly just turned around a 1-mile-an-hour fastball.
And in the end, the Tigers turned to an unlikely hero to close out the defending AL champs. Tonight, we return to the Lone Star State, where the hometown Rangers have their eyes set on a return to the World Series, while the Detroit Tigers will look to force a decisive Game 7. The ALCS continues next on Fox.
For the second straight year, Rangers fans hope to see a pennant clincher at home. Will there be a Texas-sized celebration, or will Detroit make this series go the distance? It's time to find out in Game 6 of the American League Championship Series. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Fox's continuing coverage of the ALCS. Alongside Eric Karros and White Sox World Championship catcher A.J. Pierzynski, I'm Chris Rose, and guys, congratulations. You both have a chance to be right. A.J., on Thursday in Motown, you said we were coming back to Arlington. Good job.
I finally got one right. Now, if the Tigers can just do me something right here and get this game to Game 7, we'll be all right here. But, EK, you're looking good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And not only my predictions, too. I said Texas in 6. I think this is when they clinch it, right tonight.
All right, if you're the Rangers, you're in the same position as you were on Thursday afternoon. How you feeling this evening?
Well, you're feeling good. Even though you're coming off of a loss and you think maybe the momentum with Detroit, you're the Texas Rangers and you're Ron Washington, and you were asked in spring training, hey, you get to play 2 games at home. You only have to win one of them, and you go to the World Series. You have Derek Holland and Colby Lewis lined up. Would you take it? I'll tell you what, Ron Wash, absolutely I'd take it.
All right, AJ, if you're the newest Tiger in town, you seem to be having their pom-poms so far. Look into the camera. Tell Tigers fans at home why they have reason to be optimistic.
All is not lost, Detroit. You're down 3-2, yes. You're on the road, yes. But you have Max Scherzer and Doug Fister lined up for Game 6 and 7. That gives you a huge advantage. Why? Their starting pitching is way better than Texas has been the whole postseason. Max Scherzer has two quality starts. The entire Texas Rangers starting staff has 1. That's your advantage right there. Get the ball to Valverde, get the ball to Joaquin Benoit, and you will win, and we will see you tomorrow night here in Arlington, Texas.
Well, offensively, Detroit has gotten it done with a few guys you didn't expect to see get it done. One of them is Ryan Rayburn. He's hitting over 300 with a couple of bombs in this series. Earlier today, our Ken Rosenthal caught up with the Detroit outfielder.
Thanks, Chris. Ryan, second straight game you're facing elimination. You fought him off the first time. What is the mood in the clubhouse now that you're having to deal with this again?
We're just having a blast with it. I mean, I think all the teams sitting at home watching us wishes they were in our position right now. So we're just having a blast with it. I mean, I'm trying to soak it all in. This is my first postseason. I'm having a blast right now.
You've got a lot of guys hobbling. You've got their manager basically saying, I'm not pitching to Miggy anymore. How difficult is it to mount an offense when it's like this?
Well, we've kind of done it for most part of the year. A lot of teams hadn't wanted to pitch to Miggy. But Victor, you know, I think he's one of the big reasons we're here. He backed up Miguel whenever they didn't want to pitch them, and he knocked the guys in right after they did it. And, you know, if he can, hopefully he's healthy enough and keep doing like he did last game, we'll be fine.
All right, Ryan, here's the big question. Will you guys all be aiming for third base tonight?
I don't know. I think we maybe wore out all our luck on that bag last game, so hopefully we might aim for second or first base, see what that happens.
Ryan, thanks a lot. Chris, back to you.
All right, right, guys, thank you very much. Still can't get over that ball hitting third base. That was bizarre.
Unbelievable. You never see it.
No.
You never see that.
Hey, by the way, what'd you say about Ryan Rayburn at the beginning of the series?
I told you guys, look out for Ryan Rayburn. I got another prediction right, though. Why? Ryan Rayburn absolutely killed my Chicago White Sox this year. 5 home runs of his 14, 375. He destroyed us. He's a Florida guy. I got to go with my Florida guys. But also, Ryan Rayburn's a darn good player. He doesn't get enough hype, enough love. He just didn't get enough times to play. But I know every time against the White Sox, hello, Ryan Rayburn.
Well, and you know, there are other guys in that lineup, and that's where Derek Holland ran into trouble in his last start. You know, guys like Austin Jackson, in the first 2 innings, he walked him twice. And then Brandon Inge walked him as well. Those guys are guys you're going to have to put away because you allow them to get on base. Then you leave that middle of the lineup with some ability to do some damage.
Yeah, but how fun has this series been to cover? I mean, we've sat up here and we've marveled at all these guys. It's been amazing.
Yep.
In fact, every game has gone into the bottom of the 6th, either tied or a 1-run lead by a respective team. That is pretty impressive. Well, Ron Washington, he is hoping to lift the ALCS championship trophy for a 2nd straight year, but Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers have other thoughts in mind. Are we ready for another classic here in Arlington? We will find out in just a few moments. But coming up next, he has been a constant chatterbox on the field. He is making some serious noise with his glove and his bat. How do you pitch to Miguel Cabrera when you have no choice? We'll kick that around when we return to Texas. Hold tight. Welcome back to the Chevrolet ALCS pregame show on Fox. Game 5 winner Justin Verlander has one of the best fastballs in baseball, but as his teammate Don Kelly found out during the regular season, when the All-Star wasn't pitching, he could still bring the heat.
Don Kelly's foot is on fire.
That was great. It was Verlander went in and set it all up. I had no clue what was going on, but that was one of the better ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Flame got a little intense there for a minute.
That was probably one of the best hot foots I've ever seen. I mean, it could have set his whole leg on fire.
I just used some athletic tape, put some flammable stuff on it, and just lit it up, and it worked out pretty good.
Oh my goodness, he still doesn't know.
It almost caught my pants on fire because it literally was all the way up my calf. You know what? And the first thing was I smelled it before anything else, and I was looking around and then I looked down and holy crap, you know, my foot's on fire. It was pretty funny that it all came together like that.
You have to have fun playing baseball. If you don't, you know, there's something wrong with you.
A quick serious reminder, kids, do not do that at home. Reserve that for the big leaguers. I mean, either you got, as we like to say.
I've had it, but it didn't catch my leg on fire. Good thing Don Kelly wears his pants up to show off those calves, because otherwise his whole leg might have caught on fire.
Yeah, it's not fun unless it's somebody else that's having the hot foot. It's great to watch, but it's not good to be the victim there.
So it never happened to you?
No, you know what? It usually happens to guys that aren't playing. If they try to do it to somebody that's playing.
Did you hear that? It's not guys who don't play. I know what that means. I was out at first base. Can't happen to me.
But the reason they couldn't do it to EK because they were afraid all the product in his hair would catch on fire. Might catch his hat on fire.
Hey, one guy who's been hot from head to toe is Miguel Cabrera. He has been amazing. This year's batting champ, he is hitting .375 with a home run and 5 RBIs. That despite being walked 7 times in this series. And he's hit safely in all 12 LCS games in which he's played. 7 back in 03 with the Marlins. You can ask EK about that. And 5 more this year. Now, AJ, you face this guy 19 times a year. Grade out how the Rangers are doing against him so far.
They're not doing a very good job, I'm not going to lie. What should they do? Ron Washington, here's your clue. Go 4 fingers up in the air. Let him walk to first. We always say, put up 4, you know where the guy's at. He's not hitting doubles. He's not hitting home runs. They've tried pitching around him. Wash will tell you in his office, hey, we've tried to walk this guy without intentionally walking him. They did do it one time with nobody on base. They should try it again. Why? Because that way he's not on second. That way he's not trotting around the bases, getting his team fired up, getting the energy going in the Detroit dugout.
Yeah, you know, and you put him down at first. It's not like he's going to steal second. You know, there's something, though, that's pretty amazing. In this series so far, Detroit Tigers, they have 22 walks. So that's 5 games. That's over 4 a game. Of those 22, you know how many have scored? Guys, how many have scored?
Zero.
None. So that's amazing. So I keep walking them.
Yeah. Well, one guy who's been swinging the bat on the other side, Nelson Cruz. He has been phenomenal so far in this series. He is the only Ranger to go deep. He's even surpassed the Babe in the record book. So what got him going, and how can the Tigers slow him down? We'll cruise through that and more when we come back. Welcome back to the Chevrolet ALCS pregame show on Fox. Included in Nelson Cruz's 5 blasts this series is the home run cycle, a pair of solo shots, a 2-run job, a 3-run shot, and a grand slam as well. In fact, he's built his own power plant.
Mile-an-hour fastball is turned around.
Talk about a nice foursome to be a part of. Cruz has all 5 of Texas's big flies in this series, joining Babe Ruth, Rusty Staub, and Pops Willie Stargell as those who accounted for all their team's homers in a single round of the playoffs. That is with at least 3 homers. Now, EK, at the beginning of the series, you were talking about how dynamic this Texas Rangers offense is, but where's the speed been?
It hasn't been apparent yet. I thought one of the things that the Rangers would have a distinct advantage would be their athleticism, specifically on the base paths. Right now, only 1 stolen base this series. They've only attempted 3 times. This was a team that was 4th in the American League during the season and 3rd in base stealing efficiency. They've got to get down to first base tonight and make things happen. Try to distract Max Scherzer. Ron Washington told us that Detroit's been doing a great job of holding their runners. But if they can get down to second base, Wash said he's going to give them the go button.
Well, exactly, EK. The reason we see Endy Chavez as the DH tonight and not Mitch Moreland or Yorvi Torrealba is because of just that reason. Ron Washington said, I want Endy Chavez in there because I can do more with him. I can bunt, I can hit and run, he can steal, he can take the extra base, and that's what the Rangers need. That's their game. Besides Hamilton and Young in the middle of their lineup and obviously Nelly Cruz, they need action on the base paths. They need to put pressure on Detroit and get them excited, get them going.
And don't forget about Mike Napoli as well. He came over in that offseason deal from the Toronto Blue Jays. Of course, it all started out in Anaheim with the Angels, and he's been a tremendous pickup. The word on him was he was all bat and no glove, but he's been quite a catch down here.
Mike Napoli delivers as he did with his arm in the bottom of the 10th. He does with his bat in the top of the 11th.
I know we're going to win. Being with the Angels, we had great teams. Always seemed like we were missing that one little extra thing.
Against us, Napoli always did a great job. I've always admired Mike Scioscia's catching tandem.
I mean, he was hard. He was hard on the catcher. Sometimes it might have got a little much to where I kind of got labeled as a bad catcher, and I always felt that I can get it done behind the plate. I wasn't liked too much on the other side. I didn't like too many people over here, to tell you the truth. Mainly Kinsler.
I don't even want to answer that question. I think if you play against both those guys, you can't stand either of them. I know other guys look at Kins and they can't stand Kins, and the same thing with Knapp.
He had, 2 buttons undone, and
he had kind of that pouty head down thing he gave when he popped the ball up, and
he had a nice home run bat toss. It drove me crazy.
Swung on and hit high in the air, deep left field. Goodbye.
It always seemed like he got that big hit. He was just such a gritty player. And when we traded for him, I think we were all very excited about it.
I'm enjoying it. Here, it's almost like we have it all in place. It's a good feeling.
Mike is a quality baseball player. I call him a dirtbag because he's a gamer.
The guy's a good guy and a fierce competitor. Defensively, he's been off the charts. Kind of shook a unfair label. It's been a perfect fit.
I want to see the unbuttoned jersey from you next year.
I can't pull that off. I don't have the big barrel chest that Napoli has, but he's been a great find for them. Ron Washington said, hey, we didn't play this guy a whole lot during the season behind the plate. We needed to save his energy at first base, at DH, whatever it was. But you know what? When the season's on the line and they need big games, who's behind the plate? Mike Napoli, last week of the season in Oakland and Anaheim. The postseason, he's been back there more times than not. Why? Pitchers love throwing to him. They love his energy. They love what he does. They love the way he handles the young guys, especially Derek Holland. And before, what were you saying during the piece, Chris, about Nelson Cruz's eyebrows? You want to know his stylist?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Listen, you're the guy that goes and sees a stylist for the hair. Be careful. By the way, the Rangers 31 games over 500 when Napoli starts behind the dish. But perhaps his biggest role in tonight's game will be corralling the emotions of the left-handed starter for the Rangers tonight. That's Derek Holland. Remember, he didn't even make it out of the third inning in Game 2. Meanwhile, Max Scherzer, he was dynamite lasting into the 7th on Monday, but he had to settle for a no decision. But EK, let's go back to Derek Holland. Ron Washington told us he is on a very short leash tonight. What do you expect to see out of him?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what to expect. I know what Ron Washington hopes to see, and that's a good Derek Holland. The problem with Derek Holland, he lets his emotions get the best of him. He gets excitable out on the mound. In Game 2, the fastball was up. He couldn't corral it. Look, Ron Washington had him in his office for a half hour in Detroit telling him to calm down, try to take the crowd out of it. Well, that's easy to say. You know, it's like, really? Take the crowd out of it? Try and focus? Of course, but how do you do that? Different ways. You step off the mound, you take deep breaths. You find yourself thinking of something. Or, for me, I used to think of a song that would relax me a little bit. Derek Holland, he needs to find that thing to relax him tonight.
What song was that? I'm Too Sexy?
Elton John, your song. I'm telling you.
There you go. Way to go.
Well, EK, you might be hoping and praying for what you're going to get out of your guy, Derek Holland, but I know what I'm getting out of my guy, Max Scherzer. He was great in Game 2. He has been awesome this entire postseason. He struggled a little bit here in the first. You see a couple mistakes to Hamilton and Beltre. He made the huge mistake to Nelson Cruz, but like I said earlier, he's given them 2 quality starts at 2 tough venues, at Yankee Stadium and at Texas in Game 2. All they needed was for him to get through one more hitter, and that was that Nelson Cruz at bat, to hand the ball to their bullpen, get it to Benoit, get it to Valverde. They're 1-1. Maybe they're up 3-2 right now in this series. Max Scherzer will be good. He has a different color, funky eyes. I don't know. Maybe that's intimidating the Rangers because he's always been great against them.
Yes or no? Is it ending tonight? Yes or no?
Ending tonight. Said it at the beginning of the series. Texas in 6. I'm not changing now.
Well, I have to change mine a little bit. I'm saying Detroit in 7, so I had to change it. 6 wasn't possible, but we'll see tonight, but I think we'll be back here tomorrow night.
All right, we've had some great baseball, and first pitch coming your way in mere moments. Coming up, do the Tigers have that survivor instinct? A banged-up Alex Avila is playing on guts alone. Will he see a Game 7? And will Papa Grande get a shot to keep his perfect saves record intact? Meanwhile, the Rangers hope their lefty has the right stuff and gets them to the World Series again. Baseball's coming up. Welcome back to the Chevrolet ALCS pregame show on Fox. And how much fun has this series been? We are ready for another great game here tonight between the Detroit Tigers and the Texas Rangers. And now let's send it upstairs to Joe Buck. Hello, Joe.
Hi there, Chris. And the answer to your question is it's been great. It's been a lot of fun these first 5 games, and now it's Game 6 in Arlington, Texas. If we look back to Game 5 2 afternoons ago, Jim Leyland, manager of the Tigers, was very audacious in saying that because our bullpen is worn out, even though we're facing elimination, I'm going with my big gun, Justin Verlander and Phil Koch. That is it. He stuck to his plan, and the Tigers won that game 7-5. So we got rest, 2 days of rest for Joaquin Benoit and Jose Valverde, his closer, and I welcome in my partner, Tim McCarver, and because of that, he's got that bullpen rested and ready to go. The Tigers are locked and loaded for game number 6.
Yeah, here's the plan. I mean, Jim Leyland, he'll go about 5, maybe 6 innings if he can with Max Scherzer, and then he'll go to Rick Porcello and Phil Koch in the middle and finish with his big guys, Benoit and Valverde. That's, of course, if the Rangers cooperate. They don't always do that, though.
No, they don't, and they're up 3-2. They're here at home, and yet manager Ron Washington will manage this game as if his team is down 3-2 because, Tim, he wants it to end tonight.
Well, there's no expression of baseball, you've heard it many times, that you go with your starting pitcher, and you're only as good as your starting pitcher. But for the Rangers in this series, they've been only as good as their bullpen. And that's why Ron Washington is not going to be very patient with Derek Holland if he's wild early, first, second inning.
We could see a lot of Scott Feldman, and we will see Alexi Ogando before the end of the night. That you can bet. We get ready to press forward, but right now we look back to Game 5.
The Motor City of Detroit. On their last legs and facing elimination, the Tigers made their last stand. Battered but determined, some unlikely heroes emerged. They needed their ace to come through. Verlander, you're so cool. I kept asking Tim, how come the team that looks to be in control often isn't? And he'd say, that's the way the ALCS goes. Tonight's game is sponsored by MasterCard, asking you to eat, drink, and be generous this fall. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. All right, Nelson Cruz. Lead them out. Take your team to the field. Up 3-2. Do it. Go. Run out there. Beautiful night, 86 degrees, crystal clear, and I don't know what we're going to do without a threat of rain. But there is no threat of rain, and there's no threat of rain tomorrow. Since we can't get him to run on the field, we'll remind you that the opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Maybe Ron Washington can lead him out onto the field with all that energy he's got in the corner of that dugout. Or Napoli. Oh. Now we know why they're a little bit delayed. One of the starters, the guy who will get the baseball tonight on the middle of the diamond on the mound, had to adjust his uniform and change his uniform top.
Gotta have a pitcher.
Yeah. There he is. Derek Holland is getting ready to go. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Tigers, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And there are no surprises. Austin Jackson still in that leadoff spot despite all the strikeouts. Ryan Rayburn, Miguel Cabrera, the DH is Victor Martinez. Then it's Delman Young, Johnny Peralta, Avila, Brandon Inge is batting eighth. And Ramon Santiago, who has been so good against left-handed pitching during this postseason, the switch-hitting second baseman, is batting ninth. And here is Derek Holland. And Tim, it's worth repeating that there will be serious concentration on the part of Ron Washington, Mike Maddox, on the control of Derek Holland. And if they don't feel like he's throwing the fastball where he wants to throw it here in the first inning, they will get action up immediately.
You can tell at home when Derek Holland is wild high. They call it the shotgun approach or the scattergun approach. And with the fastball, as he was in game 2, when he walked 4 in 2 2/3 innings and gave up the big blow, a 3-run home run by Ryan Rayburn. So we'll see how it goes. But a close eye on Holland's control in the beginning.
Home plate umpire for this game 6, Tom Hallion, is behind the plate. Tim Welke started this series behind the plate. He's worked his way all the way back to first base. He's the crew chief. Larry Vanover is at second. Jim Wolf at third field, and Culbreth, and then it's Jeff Nelson down the right field line. And here is Austin Jackson, and talking to Austin's manager, Jim Leland, before the game. He said, you know, the strikeouts are really piling up. But if I take him out of the leadoff spot, I might as well take him out of the game. If there's a spot where Jackson comes up with an RBI opportunity, Leland will not hesitate to pinch hit.
Saying that should be in the 5th or 6th inning.
He goes up there ready to swing, and he fouls it back. 94 from Holland. Strike one. 49% of the time he struck out during this postseason. So it's up from 31% when he struck out 181 times. That's on the inside corner. Good hop on that fastball, 0-2. Every fastball harder than the one before it. That 97 up and away, 1-2. Ripped into left field, a base hit. And right out of the gate, Austin Jackson rewards Jim Leyland for his patience. He's on to start the night. When we take a look at the defense for Texas, Andy Chavez gets the start in left. Murphy is DHing. Hamilton in center. Nelson Cruz in right. Beltre, Andrus, Kinsler, Michael Young. The catcher is Napoli for Derek Holland, and it's 1 on, nobody out. Here's Rayburn, who hit one of the 4 home runs the Tigers hit in Game 5. He's got 2 in this series. Ball 1 down and away.
Joe, when you are having problems early, your pitching becomes more predictable. 5 straight fastballs from Derek Holland. So instead of the breaking ball, Austin Jackson got a fastball to hit and open the game with a base hit.
See if Jackson wants to do any running. Double play ball. Andrus to Kinsler, and easy on to first, 2 out.
Elvis Andrus has every reason to smile. That was a cutter in on the hands of Ryan Rayburn, similar to the ball he hit out, the 3-run home run in Game 2. Easy double play.
You can see Kinsler even take his eye off that toss from Andrus before he got it. That was about as routine as they get. Day 1 of spring training, and with 2 out, nobody on, here's Miguel Cabrera, who is 6 out of 16 in this LCS, and he has hit in 12 straight LCS games. Strike 1. Talked to Andrus before the game 2 nights ago, and he said, I know right where Ian Kinsler wants it when I feed him for the double play. And you said, well, where does he like it? He said, anywhere. He'll take the toss anywhere, and he's so good at turning the double play, which he just did.
He'll take it anywhere, but he wants it around his chest. That's where his arms and hands are.
Correct.
Makes it a little easier to avoid that oncoming runner.
With the count 0-1, Cabrera takes ball 1. Miguel hit .344 during the regular season, 30 home runs. He's protected by Victor Martinez, the switch hitting DH, on deck. .96, strike 2.
Two-seam fastball to get Cabrera in the hole, if he is ever in a hole.
Way late. 97 from Holland, who has featured old number 1, the fastball, the entire inning.
Yeah, we've talked about it. The Tigers with 2 guys who are oblivious to 2 strikes. Cabrera and Martinez, 2 best in baseball.
Again, 97, still 1-2. Max Scherzer will take the mound in the bottom of the inning. He settled in and was very good in Game 2. In the air to right field, the ball carries at the wall. It is gone. Miguel Cabrera with a home run the opposite way, and it's 1-0 Tigers. That is right where the ball jumps in this park, and it had just enough on it to get out. And the Tigers strike first in Game 6.
Ron Washington saying that it's a wonder Cabrera isn't walked 200 times a year intentionally. With the count 1-1, he gets the count 1-2 and fouls off some tough pitches until he gets the ball out over the plate, tremendously strong the other way to put the Tigers on the board.
His 3rd of this postseason. Just out of the reach of Nelson Cruz and a fan. right in between them. And with 2 out, nobody on, a run home. Victor Martinez takes a breaking ball in for a strike. Mentioned he's a switch hitter. He struggled in the postseason against left-handed pitching. Derek Holland, who's been working for a long time on that mustache, falls behind 1-0. There's strike 2.
Some guys shorten their stroke with 2 strikes, and that takes away from your power. Martinez and Cabrera, not so. They still have good power with 2 strikes.
Ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes with Delmon Young on deck. And Delmon, when we last saw him, hit 2 home runs in Game 5. Over but low, 2-2. Victor Martinez with a count 2-2. Should end the inning. Kinsler. It's the 10th home run hit in this LCS by the Tigers. It is the 8th solo home run among those 10. Miguel Cabrera knows how to ride him out of parks. 1-0 Tigers in Game 6. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And by E-Trade. Investing Unleashed. It is a beautiful night, mid-80s in Arlington, Texas. The Taco Bell starting lineup for the Rangers. Think outside the bun. Kinsler, Anderson, Hamilton, Young, Beltran, Napoli in the middle. Nelson Cruz, who's been a one-man wrecking crew. And then David Murphy, Andy Chavez. The last 2 against the right-hander, Max Scherzer, who came from Arizona with Daniel Schlereth in that 3-team deal. And that's what he's done this postseason. He's been good in the rotation. He's been good out of the bullpen, as he was in Game 5, the division series at Yankee Stadium. And now he deals with Kinsler to start the night.
Fastball, 2 types of changeups, and a slider he's developed with pitching coach Jeff Jones this year.
Kinsler lays off that one that rides inside. Ball 1. Over but low, 2-0. And this crowd is packed in here to this stadium tonight. They have been fired up for a while prior to this game, and any sign of a rally, they will let it go. They want another trip to the World Series, which they got last year, only to fall to San Francisco. It's 3-0. Kinsler will take a strike. A pop-up as Scherzer comes back to get Ian Kinsler as Santiago hauls it in, 1 out. You know, Santiago's at second base for Detroit in the outfield. Delmon Young, Austin Jackson, Ryan Rayburn left to right. Inge, Peralta, Miguel Cabrera at first. And the catcher is Avila. Receiving Scherzer and receiving a huge ovation was Dirk Nowitzki, who before this game was shown on the big screen, and this place went nuts.
Now that's a big strike zone.
Yeah, and that's one of the most pure jump shots. For a guy that big, I mean, you just don't see it. Here's a pitch up and into Elvis Andrus from Scherzer. Verlander got him here with his efforts in Game 5. Andrus is on as he shoots the gap in left center. He will hold as Young gets to it, 1 on, 1 out. 5th hit of this series.
Two-seam fastball up in the strike zone, and Elvis Andrus with a one-out hit. Eric Karros asked Ron Washington tonight before the game why the Rangers were not running more than they were. The only stolen base is the steal of third by Ian Kinsler. That led to a run. And Washington, I'll tell you, the right-handed pitchers for the Tigers have been doing a very good job getting the ball to home in a hurry.
Big lead, and Elvis able to get back. He stole 37 during the regular season. Time is called, and Cabrera wants to make sure time was called because Elvis got up and got off the bag. Cabrera still had it on him, but Andrus needed to dig around at the dirt in the area where he takes his lead. They want to run, they just haven't been able to. Running is a big part of the Rangers game. Hamilton at the plate. That is into right center field, and not well hit. He got under it, 2 out.
That was a changeup on the first pitch. Not too many pitchers are effective in doing that because think about it, it's the first time they faced the hitter during the game. So from what are they changing? But that is a big part of Max's arsenal. That changeup, he has 2 types. One with 2 strikes is what he calls the finish off changeup.
Here's Michael Young, who has 1 career postseason home run. 4 out of 22. He's been getting a little hotter with the bat. And again, a spot to run if Elvis Andrus can figure out when to go. That skips in, and Cabrera digs it out.
We've already seen 1 throwing error by a Detroit pitcher in this series. That's what speed does to you. May not be able to steal the base, but those constant throws to first base, as Jim Leyland gives signs to Alex Avila, the catcher.
That was Porcello in game 4. He was in the bullpen tonight for Detroit. Jim Leyland is working with a 4-man bullpen. There are other guys listed, but if the Tigers are in a position to win this game or try and stay close, one of 4 guys will be on the mound after Scherzer. Porcello, Cope, Benoit, and Valverde.
That was a very, very good slider and a fastball count. Watch how it goes down. We talked about those sliders before. If they don't go down, they go out.
There he goes. Avila's throw. Too late. Skips in. Stolen base, Elvis Andrus.
Very good jump. Another slider. Not a good pitch to handle. And Avila with a short hop to second base. Johnny Peralta did what he could. Andrus with the first steal for him in this series.
Now a hit from arguably the best hitter in franchise history for the Rangers. Could tie the game. Steady pops it up. Right side. Foul ball. Cabrera ends the inning. We've played 1 in game 6. Here in Arlington, Texas. Home run by Cabrera. 1-0 Tigers. You can celebrate America's game with Chevrolet. Upload a picture of your youth player and you could win tickets to this postseason among hundreds of other MLB prizes. Strike 1 to Delmon Young. You can be a part of the Chevy Centennial celebration and enter to win at ChevyBaseball.com. Delmon Young hit 2 home runs 2 evenings ago in game 5. Had that strained oblique after the Yankees series. Ken Rosenthal, kind of funny how things work out.
It is, Joe. Those 2 home runs were all the more amazing considering that the Tigers left Young off their initial roster for this series, thinking that he would not be ready until game 4 or 5 at the earliest. They didn't want to risk putting him on the roster and then having to take him off in the middle of the series due to further injury. If that had happened by the rules, he would have been ineligible for the World Series as well.
All right, Ken, thanks. So he strikes out Delmon Young. That's the first strikeout. And Derek Holland, I'll say this. Control is a question. Velocity and stuff is not for Holland.
Well, Ron Washington would rather see that. So would Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. He'd rather see guys have to hit to go on, to get on, instead of being all over the place. So far, he's locked into the strike zone.
He hits the inside corner there, strike 1. Johnny Peralta at the plate. There's Mike Maddox, his pitching coach. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peralta, then Avila. We're in the 2nd inning of game 6. Holland lasted 2 2/3 in game 2. Got a no decision. His team won 7-3 and 11. That's in the air to right. Well hit at the wall. Home run, Peralta, 2-0 Tigers. Johnny Peralta drives one over the wall in right. Another Tigers solo home run, and it's 2-0 here in the 2nd.
Miguel Cabrera with an outside fastball over the right field fence. Now Johnny Peralta, same pitch, 2-seamer, out away from him. 2-0 Tigers.
Peralta hit 21 home runs during the regular season. That's his 2nd of this LCS.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get out!
Strike 1 to Avila.
No emotion for Jim Leyland. Almost a clinician down there, right?
Yeah, he didn't show anything.
No.
And before the game, he was just sitting on his couch in his office watching college football and giving A.J. Pierzynski trouble when we walked in. Strike 2. A.J. got to sit in the captain's chair behind Jim Leyland's desk. Jim just stayed on the couch. A.J. answered all the questions we had about the Tigers. Avila strikes out on a pitch in the dirt as Napoli finishes it 2 out.
Cabrera, his home run just got out. Peralta's just got out.
Johnny had a big year with the bat. Slimmed down a bit, had a good year defensively. Here's Brandon Inge, who homered back in Detroit. Ball 1, down and away. That ball will obviously jump out of here to right. It does anyway, but the wind is pushing in that direction. That's up and away, 2-0. Talk to players and they'll tell you the wind blowing in and those flags on top of the scoreboard. It comes in, hits the seats, and shoots down out of here out to right as Inge fouls it back 2-1. Whatever life this crowd brought with them into Rangers ballpark is gone for the moment. 2-0 Tigers in game 6. This one off the end of the bat. Andy Chavez to his left, inning over, but another run. Home run by Johnny Peralta, and like Cabrera before him, shoots one out to right. Bottom of the 2nd. Rangers coming up, down by 2. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox. This series has been thrilling from the beginning. And Beltre's been a part of that. So has Napoli, the guy behind him, and for sure Nelson Cruz hitting 7th. 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Rangers, up 3 games to 2, down 2-0 in this game. Strike one. Beltre is a career .314 hitter here. 95 RBIs in 114 games played. He's trying to get one up in the jet stream. That's out of play. Strike two.
You can go right on down the list, Joe. In this ballpark, most hitters hit better here than they do anywhere else. This park led the majors in runs, home runs, and the highest earned run average by pitchers.
The 0-2. Ball one up and away. This Texas team during the regular season led the AL in team batting average. In this ALCS, they're hitting .257 with .283 during the regular year. Beltre strikes out on a pitch up around his eyes. 1 out, and the first strikeout for Scherzer.
Shoulder high fastball gets Beltre. Of course, with 2 strikes, that's the time you can expand the strike zone, and he did.
So Beltre has gone, and Napoli will dig in. We had a chance to stand there and talk to Max Scherzer, a real good guy, before Game 5 back in Detroit. Pitch is up and in, and after a while you start to look at him and you go, what's different about this guy?
I did. You knew it.
Why? I did.
Right?
I didn't know until we were standing there talking
really?
to him. Yeah. Here's a 1-0. The answer is he's got 2 different colored eyes. And he said he's had fun with it over the years. Guys get freaked out. Guys make fun of him. He can laugh. Jim Leyland said when he found out, he said, I bet your favorite song is Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. He's got 1 brown, 1 blue. And he's got a great personality to go with it. I don't think this stage will bother Max Scherzer at all.
No, I don't either. He just does not talk like it would. That condition, by the way, is called heterochromia. And it is a condition. It's not a malady. It does not affect the eyesight.
That's to third. Inge charges it and throws a strike. 2 out. How about Nelson Cruz? And how about tonight's Get to a Better State recap, brought to you by State Farm for auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state. His 5 home runs. Game 1, 4th inning solo shot. Game 2, he had a couple, including the grand slam winner, and then game 4, a 3-run home run to cap the scoring in the 11th. And then a 2-run shot off Verlander. And he has all 5 Texas home runs in this ALCS, which is the most in a postseason series for any one guy who has every one of his team's home runs. He's got 5. Ruth had 4, Staub 3, Stargell 3. In that exclusive category. 2 out, nobody on. A 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, and we thank State Farm for their help in bringing you postseason baseball here on Fox. Couldn't do it without him. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. And Scherzer off to a good start, strike 2.
Now, everybody knows that when you're in scoring position, you're either on second base or third base. For Nelson Cruz in this series, he's in scoring position right now in the box.
He's got 6 hits, 5 have left the park. Set up here at 1-2. And not close, 2-2. And slider from Scherzer. 88 miles per hour, 2-2. Not only that, but Nelson Cruz has 46% of the RBIs on his club in this series. It's not just home runs, but Detroit has 9 solo home runs among the 11 they've hit. Here's one into right center. This ball will not be caught. And Nelson Cruz has a 2-out double. He just keeps swinging it.
This is unbelievable. Scherzer looked like a backup slider. We talked about that slider, and if it doesn't go down, it goes out. Well, this one doesn't go out from Nelson Cruz, but it goes out deep enough for the first extra base hit for the Rangers in this game.
And it brings in David Murphy, who's been red hot against right-handed pitching. Since the middle of September, hitting .375. Tying run at the plate here in the second. And we talked to Murphy. He said the first 5.5 months were misery. His timing was off. He was underneath everything. Now his timing is back. He can stay on top of the ball and drive it. As Scherzer misses outside, ball one.
We ran into David Murphy's dad, Mike Murphy, who grew up in Detroit. In fact, he played the high school ball with Milt Pappas on the same team, saying it was a cinder infield, and he was an infielder.
He's raised a great kid, good hitter.
He has.
As he takes inside, 2-0. How about those numbers? April through August and then since. The extra base hits he did basically in the month plus that includes the postseason. But it took him the first 5 months to do. Here comes a 2-0. That will get out of play. 2-1.
That's one swing and one count that you don't want to be jammed. If it's 0-2, a hitter thinks it's okay. That's the best time to jam a hitter. But with the count 2 balls and no strikes, you don't want to be jammed in that count. 3-1, 2-0, 2-1. Obviously, hitter counts.
That hitter is David Murphy. Cruz at second, 2 out. Ball 3 with Endy Chavez, who does not have a hit this postseason, on deck. It's with limited work. Moreland is on the bench. Murphy's the DH. Chavez a left fielder. Challenged him, 96, got it by him, full count. Murphy said the hard part about hitting Scherzer is that he turns his back to you almost, and it's tough to pick up the ball.
Changeup.
And that'll put 2 on with 2 out.
It was not a changeup. It was a fastball to walk David Murphy.
And it brings in Chavez. Endy had a good year during the regular season at .301 and limited work, 5 homers, 27 RBIs. That bottom line, the top line, he's had 1 start this postseason. That was during this ALCS. He's 0 for 3. Ron Washington wondering if he pulled the right string with the lineup tonight. Ball 1.
Endy Chavez only about 170 pounds, but don't let that fool you. He can pop one. Ball down and in. That's his power zone. He had 5 home runs on the year and limited at bats.
Hasn't hit one since August 9th. He was out in front of that changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There are a lot of strikes on a changeup and a fastball count.
Scherzer took too long, so Chavez got out. Peralta goes to the bag, and the inning is over. Threat is gone for Texas. We go to the third. Rangers have stranded 3. We've played 2. 2-zip. Tigers on top. Our Volkswagen Passat trivia question: what is the meaning of the Mendoza line? And for which of these two teams did the person based on that phrase once play? Pitch is up and away from Derek Holland to Ramon Santiago, with Austin Jackson and Ryan Rayburn to follow. This guy's been a good hitter in this ALCS. He's played a good second base. And Jim Leyland has moved him all over this lineup today, batting 9th.
Obviously a switch hitter. His right side is his best side.
2-1. It's been talked about a lot, but the Rangers have had one starter this entire postseason go semi-deep into a game. But nobody has gotten into the 7th, and they have relied on their bullpen. And names like Ogando and Feliz, Mike Adams. There's another base hit for Santiago. Red hot. And with a good view of that base hit, home plate umpire Tom Hallion, who had a nice moment between innings.
You know, you're going to get me in trouble.
Why is that?
Your biggest fan, my wife, said, "Is the president here?" And I said, "No." I said, "Just Laura came. Mrs. Bush came." And so I said, so now she's when she sees it, I think she's right back up there. So when she sees me talking to you, I'm going to be in trouble.
Give her my love.
I will. Thank you. Hi, Laura. How are you? Hi, Nolan. How are you?
Former member of the ownership group here with the Texas Rangers, and he has been a mainstay throughout the postseason here at Rangers Ballpark, right there next to Nolan Ryan. A strike, as they say. Jackson did not pull the bat away, showing bunt. 0-1.
This makes sense from what Jim Leyland was telling us before the game, and the fact that he may pinch hit for Austin Jackson sometime around the 5th.
And Jim Leyland went over to pay his respects before the game. Here's the 0-1. Instead, a late break by Santiago, but the throw was on the wrong side of the bag. That's foul. Strike 2.
You would try to sacrifice in this situation rather than hit and run, because Austin Jackson swings through so many pitches. He's not the type of hitter that you hit and run with, coupled with the fact that Santiago does not have good speed. But Jackson fouls this one off, and he's in the hole 0-2.
Didn't really look all that good trying to bunt.
No, he didn't.
Holland has struck out 2. Pretty good swing by Jackson. Still 0-2.
Joe, you talked about the bullpen and seeing Nolan Ryan there. I mean, since Nolan Ryan was made president back in 2008, he has encouraged the starters for the Texas Rangers to pitch deeper into games. They've increased that every year, this being his 4th year.
That's way outside. Ball 1.
And the irony of this series is that the bullpen has been involved as much as they have. The bullpen is 3-0. The starters are 0-2 with an earned run average over 6.
Feldman's been very good. Ogando's been great. Adams, Feliz, Oliver, Gonzalez, even Matt Harrison's down there tonight. Other lefty starter. That's on the corner. 1 out.
Yeah, that's the other side of trying to bunt with Austin Jackson. You get him in the hole, he strikes out a lot, and he takes a slider for a strike.
And our E-Trade stock watch along the lines of what Tim was talking about. The Rangers bullpen is trending up. There are the numbers. The starters 0-2 in ERA over 6.5. And they've allowed 2 more home runs here tonight. Opponents hitting .299 against them. 1 on, 1 out. Did he do it again? 6-4-3. Second time Rayburn has bounced into a twin killing. Let's go to the bottom of the third. Top of the order coming up for the Rangers. Down by 2. Catch all the action of this postseason on Fox and TBS. You can join the postseason debate at MLBFanCave.com. And follow the action on Twitter with a hashtag postseason. Legends are born in October. Bottom of the third, 2-0. Tigers on top. Home runs by Cabrera and Peralta. Top of the order, Ian Kinsler first up. Strike 1. Kinsler popped up on a 3-1 pitch. His first time up. Andrus will follow, and then Hamilton. Strike 2. Ball 1 to a guy that was a much better hitter here at home, Ian Kinsler, than on the road, where he hit .214 at home. Right around the 300 mark overall, .255 for the year, but a lot of power for the Texas second baseman. Left side, diving stop by Inge. Out at first, and what a play on both ends. 1 away.
Boy, that was a tough scoop by Cabrera. Terrific play. Full extension by Inge. And an in-between hop picked by Cabrera. That is a tough hop. Nicely done, says Max Scherzer. And Inge. And half of Detroit.
Especially with these bats coming up, Elvis Andrus. Sounds like the World Cup all of a sudden. The pitch up and in, ball 1. Elvis lined a single in the left center his first time up. Pretty good pitch off the corner, just a bit 2-0.
Have to wait until 2014 when the World Cup will be played in Rio in the Olympics 2 years later.
With 1 out, nobody on. Here comes a 2-0. 3-0 with Hamilton next. A 1-out walk. And the second walk handed by Scherzer to the Rangers. MLB playoffs continue tomorrow with Game 6 of the NLCS between the Cards and Brewers. Cards up 3-2 at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TBS. And then tomorrow night, if necessary, our coverage resumes Game 7 and a matchup of Doug Fister, who's been so good against Colby Lewis. And we're on the air at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. However, if this series ends tonight, meaning the Rangers win the TBS game, and the Cardinals and Brewers will shift to a primetime start. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. 1 on, 1 out. Ball 1. 5 straight have missed from Scherzer. started him with another changeup. He got Hamilton to get one off the end of the bat, flied out to right his first time up. Has not gone deep this postseason. Hamilton bothered by a sore groin. And that's how long it's been. 13 games since his last long ball. Off the hands, good pitch. Strike one.
Play on the hitter's aggressiveness as Max Scherzer realizes that Hamilton likes the ball inside. He went a little deeper inside to even the count.
Andrus, the runner at first, stole second, back in the first. Scherzer takes a moment to slow it down. Since the 4th of July, this Texas team has been hard to beat here in Arlington. 31-12, and they average over 6.5 runs per game. Off the hands into shallow left. Delmon Young won't get there. And Elvis Andrus only makes it to second. First and second, one out.
Elvis Andrus did not get a good read on that, realizing that Delmon Young had to play deep and respect Hamilton's power, even though he's in left field. And I think Andrus, in that situation, even though you're trailing by 2, you take a chance here. A little safety first for Andrus. Now, granted, while he's on second, Ron Washington saying that his team steals third as well as they steal second. So that's something to look for right here with Michael Young up.
2 on, 1 out. Line drive into the corner, fair. 1 run scores. That's Andrus. Hamilton digging around. This game is tied on a double by Michael Young.
Once again, that's what happens when that slider doesn't go down. Michael Young with a rope just fair to tie this game up. I'll tell you, Hamilton got around the bases in a hurry with a pulled groin.
Watch him take the trip. And if Leland was reserved on the home run by Peralta to right, Ron Washington is the polar opposite.
I was thinking the same thing. Jim said, get out, get out. Nothing. Ron Washington looked like he was a third base coach then.
Now Beltre, go ahead run at second, 1 out. Ball 1.
If you're a right-handed hitter for the Rangers, you're saying to yourself, well, Sergio has been, as Rick Porcello is now loosening for Detroit. Scherzer's been hurt with a slider twice. It's going to be a while before he throws that pitch again. He was hurt to Nelson Cruz, who hit the slider to right center, and then the bigger hit, Michael Young down the left field line.
Up the middle. Here comes Young. Jackson kicks it in center, and the Rangers have their first lead of Game 6.
Fastball away. Scherzer got the ground ball right back up the middle. Bobbled by Jackson, but no advance by Beltre as the Rangers take the lead.
Napoli. Strike one, and these Rangers fans are lit up now. A franchise that had not won a postseason series until last year. They got to the World Series after beating the Rays, and the Yankees lost to the Giants. They've beaten the Rays again this year, trying to knock off the Tigers. 2-1 as Daniel Schlereth joins Porcello for the Tigers in their bullpen. Channing Napoli.
Texas Rangers enjoying their most popular period in their history since arriving here in Arlington in 1972. Ted Williams, the first manager.
Three and one. This might be it for Scherzer here in the third if he doesn't get Napoli. On deck, Nelson Cruz. Got it by him, 93. Full count. There goes Beltre on ball four. 2 on, 1 out.
Boy, what a key walk that was by Scherzer, because it brings up this guy. No place to put him.
Cruz doubled into right center his first time up against Scherzer. On deck, the lefty Murphy. In the bullpen, Schlereth, but on the mound, Scherzer trying to keep it a 1-run game. Good heat, 95, right by the bat of Nelson Cruz.
Strike two. See what Cruz has done in this series. LCS records with his home runs, RBIs, first walk-off grand slam in postseason history. And the first player with 2 extra inning home runs in the same series. Here's an 0-2. Ball 1. Two and two. Runner stealing third on a foul ball, and Beltre could have walked over there.
Certainly going in standing up, Max Scherzer did not make him stop at second base. Beltre with almost a running jump from second.
Two on, one out. Did he go? No. Full count.
Boy, that's a huge non-swing. Very, very close. Tigers got the break with the ball hitting the bag in Game 5. A big break right here. No strikeout called on Cruz. I think he went around.
And instead of out number 2, it's ball number 3, a full count. Almost hit him to load the bases. David Murphy will be the hitter. Schlereth in the bullpen. Here comes Jim Leyland. He has not made a call to the pen yet. But Scherzer getting roughed up in the third, and Schlereth was not on the list of guys before the game Leyland would go to.
What a time for a first appearance in the LCS.
Schlereth with the bases loaded, 1 out. His team down by 1 here in the third inning of Game 6. Daniel Schlereth, 25-year-old left-hander from Colorado, was part of that 3-team deal. His dad, Mark, played in the NFL, now an analyst with ESPN. And you can imagine what's going on in the Schlereth household with their 25-year-old son stepping into this situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. David Murphy at the plate. The Tigers still in it, down by 1. First appearance of this series. Just missed for ball 1.
You can relax in this situation as Ryan Perry is up with Rick Porcello. But if you can relax in this situation, you can relax anytime. Nothing bothers you.
Good pitch. 93 from Schlereth, who during the regular season was 2-2. An ERA of 3.49 in 49 games. 49 innings, he allowed only 36 hits. Some control issues, 31 walks. To go with 44 strikeouts. Scherzer is finished. Now it's Schlereth. Breaking ball stays inside, ball 2. Into center field, a base hit. Beltre scores. Here comes Napoli. It's cut off. And it's a 3-run Ranger lead. 5-2 in the third.
We've talked about it several times. There are no soft spots in this Ranger lineup. Their 9th hitter is batting .301 on the year. And here's David Murphy against the left-hander to single in 2 more runs. Fastball inside, hammered to center by Murphy.
Now Craig Gentry will come off the bench to bat for Andy Chavez as Napoli slides across. It's a 5-2 game. 7 straight have reached. And they may be stalling for time to get the right-hander, either Perry or Porcello, in the game right now. They're ready.
And here comes Jim Leyland.
Tough spot for Schlereth. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Murphy ahead on the count with a 2-run single to center. Back to the bullpen. In comes Porcello. Tigers down by 3. It's a 5-2 game, still only 1 out. 7 straight have reached. And the 9th man to bat in the inning is Gentry. Batting for Andy Chavez, 2 on, 1 out. Porcello, who was the starter in game 4 and worked well. There are his numbers this postseason. Missing with ball 1. Inside, 2-0. Here's what the Rangers have done this inning with the manager Ron Washington cheering them on. 8 batters. The only out was the diving stop by Inge at third to start the inning. A walk, a single, double, single, back-to-back walks, and a 2-run hit. To the right side. A race to the bag. The out at second. It's first and third. And now Jim Leyland's going to argue. They say the runner at second was safe to load him up. And Jim Leyland's going to try and get an explanation from Larry Vanover. Let's take another look.
Well, Santiago's play was to first base. It looked to me like Murphy was coming up at second. It's very close. Nope. Had him.
He was out, but called safe. It was extremely close, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
The play was first base, and I think Santiago would have gone to first had it not been for the fact that Cabrera came over. He was guarding the hole, and Porcello wasn't over at first in time to get Gentry.
And now the bases are loaded, 1 out. Court a fielder's choice. Kinsler could bust this thing open. That's down the line, foul. And here's another look at that last play.
Well, you can see Miguel Cabrera, he's off the bag. He tries for the ball. And now Porcello is at first base. It's a much easier play. Had Santiago gone to first, he elects to go to second, and the Tigers don't get the call.
Bases loaded, 1 out, the 1-1. Kinsler, the only spot in this lineup not to reach base. Already, we're only in the third. Robbed of a hit to start this third inning. Base hit. Cruz scores. A left fielder, Delmon Young, boots it. Throw to the plate too late. Both runners advance. It's 7-2.
Third base coach Dave Anderson was going to stop David Murphy. And he waited until the last minute. And once Young dropped the ball, Murphy was waved home. And on the throw home, the runners advanced. Excellent base running by everybody with the Rangers. There it is. Check Dave Anderson, the third base coach. He waited and waited and waited. And when Young bobbled the ball, the other runners moved up. Excellent base running by a good base running team.
Now Andres chops it foul down the third base line. It's a single and an error off the bat of Ian Kinsler. After the fielder's choice, hit into by Gentry. Infield is in, the 0-1. To the shortstop, Peralta comes home, and Gentry's caught in a rundown. And tagged by Avila, but the runners move up to second and third, 2 out.
Yeah, that's a good play, second and third with a big lead. You force the infield to make the play. And Gentry getting in a rundown to give the hitter, Elvis Andrus, a chance to get to second base. Kinsler moving over as Avila runs the runner back.
Now the Tigers will walk Hamilton to load him up for Michael Young. And by the way, on the ball hit by Kinsler into left that Delmon Young booted, he gets an error with the runners advancing, but Kinsler gets 2 RBIs. And this will load him up after the fielder's choice 6-2 as Peralta came home. Michael Young, who got the first RBIs of this inning and game for the Rangers, tied it up with a 2-run double. Earlier in this inning, will bat with the bases loaded. Into right field, slicing down the line fair. The ball stays in play. 2 runs will score. And Hamilton had to put the brakes on around third. It's 9-2 in the third inning.
How about Michael Young in this inning? A double down the left field line A double down the right field line. 2 doubles, 4 RBIs for Michael Young in this inning. On the line, just barely inside the line.
Porcello is finished. The Rangers are not. What an inning. 9-2. We roll on in this bottom of the third. Ryan Perry is in the game, second and third, 2 out. It has been a 9-run third inning. And now Adrian Beltre steps in. They just keep coming at you. There is no let up in this Rangers lineup. Strike one from Perry.
Not only at the plate, Joe, but on the bases too. They have run the bases very, very well here in this third inning.
Here's an 0-1. That got a lot of Avila. Strike 2.
Looked like it got Alex in the crease. That crease is right in the knee joint. Nope, got him on the left foot. Wow. He was really taking a beating back there during this series after a long, long season.
He has shown how tough he is. 2 bad knees. Jim Leyland has not been able to rest him. Here is an 0-2 from Perry. Low. When we talked to Jim Leyland before the game, he said, I want Scherzer for 5, maybe into the 6th. Go to Porcello, Cope, Benoit, Valverde. If I have to go to other guys in my pen, we're likely going home tomorrow.
Exactly what he said.
He's had to go to Schlereth. Now Perry. And here's a ball that was not hit as well as those behind the plate thought, or those in the booth. A 9-run inning. Biggest in Rangers postseason history. And here in game 6, they're on their way, aren't they? We go to the 4th. Rangers up by 7. Tonight's game on Fox, sponsored by Chevrolet. Proud to support youth baseball across the country. Josh Hamilton moves from center to left. Craig Gentry now in the game in center. All those runs were earned. 6 charged to Scherzer, the starter, 1 to Schlereth, 2 to Porcello. Now it's Perry in the game. Ball 1 to Cabrera. Holland has a 9-2 cushion here in the 4th. So a franchise record, Tim, 9 runs in the bottom of the 3rd.
First time that the Texas Rangers pitchers can pitch to these 2 guys and breathe a little bit. Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez on deck.
Ron Washington won back-to-back divisional titles as Scott Feldman gets loose. And he is on his way, unless the Tigers really rally, to winning back-to-back AL pennants. Here comes a 2-2. Cabrera takes strike 3.
Derek Holland got a fastball in on the hands to Miguel Cabrera to get him. That was a perfect pitch right in on the hands to get Cabrera, and it's got to be perfect.
Strikeout number 4. And even the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion's all fired up. Umpiring in his 5th LCS. Rung up Cabrera, 1 out. Here's Victor Martinez. 95 for strike one. Into right field, Victor Martinez on with a one-out hit, his first hit of the night. And the 5th of the night for Detroit. Tonight's game sponsored by the all-new Volkswagen Passat. That's Das Auto. And by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. Here's Delman Young. Tigers need something to jump back into this game. This is a ballpark where runs can come fast, as the Rangers just proved. There's strike one. Young struck out his first time. In the hole, 0-2. Inside. Remember, the Rangers won the final day of the regular season. A couple of home runs by Napoli. Beat the Angels, and that gave the Rangers home field advantage in this LCS over Detroit. You can bet this crowd, as the Tigers had at home, gives a big advantage to this Rangers club here in Arlington. 2 out. Tomorrow on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, Jimmy evaluates the change to winning ways in both Detroit and San Francisco. Ham will sit down with the undefeated pack, and the guys bring all the in-depth analysis tomorrow at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. And then Cam and the A crew, Tom Brenneman, Troy Aikman, Richie Zients, Rich Russo will be in Foxborough for the Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys, with a game that everybody in these parts will be watching with great purpose, as the Cowboys will go into that game off a bye week 2-2. Coming off a real disappointing loss at home to the Lions. Into center. Gentry back. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 4th here in Arlington. These fans having fun. Rangers up by 7. Mike Napoli, what a first year here with the Rangers. Fan favorite, hit .320. Nobody expected that. Tied for 10th in the AL, 30 home runs. Leading it off in the bottom of the 4th, up 9-2. If you think A.J. Pierzynski just works pre and post game here at Fox, he did not read the fine print in his contract. He's always on call.
Put into work.
I don't know if I want to talk about what we're about to discuss here. It brings back really bad memories.
We're going to talk about September 3rd. You and the White Sox were up on Detroit 8-1 in the 5th. What happened?
I said I didn't want to talk about it, Joe. Why do you got to keep bringing it up?
That's just bad pitch calling by the catcher of the White Sox.
Put down the wrong fingers, AJ.
I agree 100%. We were up 8-1 in the 5th, and they started chipping away. I remember seeing the highlights after the game of Jim Leland walking up and down the dugout of the Tigers saying, hey, let's go, just chip away, chip away, chip away. And they sure did it. And I remember Miguel Cabrera and Ryan Rayburn both hit home runs in the 9th inning to walk us off. And it was pretty much the end of the White Sox season.
Those two guys are in the lineup tonight. You know Jim Leland's not going to quit down in that dugout. Veteran in his 6th postseason.
Absolutely. That's what he does. One of the things he does best is he keeps his team going, and he keeps his team in the game no matter what the situation or where they're at. That's why he's won a World Series. He's been back another time.
He's a big fan of yours too, by the way, as is Ron Washington, the manager of the Rangers.
I know. I said that's because they always get me out and they beat up the teams I'm on. They always beat up on us, so that's why they like me so much.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Napoli with Cruz and Murphy coming up, and that'll be skied into right. Rayburn is there for out number 1.
The one thing I remember about that day, it was kind of rainy, and I remember that Wilson Bedeman hit a home run. It's kind of to get the momentum going in the 7th, I believe it was the 7th inning. And that kind of set off a chain reaction because it was off Will Oman, and then it got us into different guys. We had to bring in Chris Sale, Jesse Crane, and they just all kind of slowly gave up a hit here, a walk there. Next thing you know, we're behind.
Batter is Nelson Cruz. That's A.J. Pierzynski. Cruz has had another productive game. He's doubled, he's walked, he's scored a run, and he takes outside ball 1.
If they do it against the Rangers tonight, they'll be doing it against the hottest bullpen, one of the hottest bullpens in LCS history.
Yeah, AJ's team wasn't bringing Ogando out of the pen.
No.
Neftali Feliz, no offense. Feldman if they need a long guy. Big swing by Cruz, 1-1. Arms like that, AJ, can make a catcher and a manager look like a genius. Here is a 1-1. 1 out, nobody on. That's down, 2-1. You're looking at the guy at the plate who, barring the miraculous, will win the MVP award for the ALCS. 2-2.
One thing that may have gone unnoticed in the 3rd inning was that check swing that was called a ball, and eventually Cruz walked. That was a huge play in that inning that could have led to 4 more runs.
You thought he went around, I thought he went around, and I guarantee you that man thought he went around.
Yep.
And now Cruz gets attention from the trainer and Ron Washington after that big swing. He is trying to stretch out his right side. Here's that last swing.
Not yet another oblique. You could see him wince on that swing, and not a good sign for Ranger fans who have seen a red-hot Nelson Cruz. And if they hold this lead, a 2nd consecutive trip to the World Series.
Well, if you're Ron Washington, why even mess with it?
Yeah, with the 7-run lead. I agree with you.
That was in the 3rd inning, that check swing. And that was the damage in that inning. 9 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks. Cruz stays at the plate. Counts 2-2. Check swing would have been out number 2. And he's wincing after that swing. I understand playing through pain and all that, but this Texas team right now with their bullpen, they have a commanding lead. And I don't know why this at bat would continue for Nelson Cruz. He flies one into left center. Back at the wall. This ball is allowed out. Strange side or not, wincing or not, he can give a baseball a ride. That was about 400 feet into more center than left. 2 out. Is he locked in, Tim? Ooh, boy. And they may have a little talk. Michael Young's in on it too. I think they're going to try and talk him out of the lineup.
Of course, you have an infielder, Esteban Herman, Ravit Turrialba, and Mitch Moreland. Gentry's already in the game, and I think Michael Young, certainly one of the leaders on that team, talking to Nelson Cruz.
Murphy trying to drop one into left, and he does. A 2-out single. They could lose the DH if they wanted.
That's right.
Meaning you could put Murphy's glove in left. Move guys around, move Hamilton to right.
And if they do that, of course, the pitcher will become the DH, hitting in the DH spot. But they have a 7-run lead, and you can afford that, perhaps, if they elect to go that route.
Gentry 1 on, 2 out. Batting in the 9 spot. Ball 1 from Perry. The X factor, to coin a phrase, is the bullpen for Texas. There are 7-run leads, and then with the kind of pen they have, there are 7-run leads. And how about Murphy running up 9-2 here in the bottom of the 4th? The count's 2-0 on Gentry.
A lot of baseball left. Even though they have a 7-run lead, I mean, the Rangers are trying to finish the Tigers off. Remember, Whitey Herzog, the great manager, Hall of Famer for the St. Louis Cardinals, said one time, "We won't run with a big lead if you don't try to score."
If you promise not to try to score anymore, we won't run.
Right.
Gentry with a runner at second, 2 out. Hinge charges, gets the high hop, and the inning is over. We go to the 5th here in Game 6. Texas leading 9-2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Have you looked at the matchups tomorrow on a doubleheader day on Fox? Some big ones. NFC West leading 49ers in Detroit to take on the undefeated Lions. Eagles, Redskins, Rams, Packers, Panthers, Falcons. Then in America's Game of the Week, it's the Cowboys and Tony Romo against Tom Brady and the Patriots, or the Saints and Bucks. Coverage begins tomorrow with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Holland is back to work, up by 7. Cruz stays in the game. He's in right. And Avila's at the plate. Struck out his first time. Brad Penny getting loose. He has not appeared since the regular season ended. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. To the right side, Kinsler, nice pickup and throw across his body, 1 out. That didn't get a move out around Washington, but there's a new dance spreading across the Metroplex area.
What's the name of it?
It's called the Ron Washington. It looks like this. That's how you finish it right there. There is no manager like him in the game today. Can you, I mean, you've been around this game a long time. Can you think of anybody else in that mold?
No.
That shows that much in the dugout?
Ron, born 59 years ago in New Orleans and showing some of that New Orleans jazz. One of the great jazz cities in the world.
He loves his job. He gets, I think, these guys on a different plane. They feed off him. And when we've talked about Ian Kinsler, Michael Young, to say they've grown together. Ron Washington came in, and by Ron's own admission, he said, I didn't know anything about pitching. I had to learn that as a manager. And they've watched him become a better in-game manager, and he's watched them become a tight group that goes out there and beats up on teams, and they're doing that here today in Game 6. The count's 2-2 on Brandon Inge as Feldman continues to get loose. Base hit right field by Inge. On with 1 out. Ken Rosenthal How about your thoughts on manager Ron Washington in his 5th season?
Well, Joe, he has always been his own man. And if you see the movie Moneyball, there's a great scene in which he and Billy Beane are visiting Scott Hatteberg's house. And Billy says to Scott, hey, no problem. You can learn first base. It's not hard at all. And Wash says, it's incredibly hard. And even in the book, there's a great scene in which Washington, Thad Bosley, the hitting coach then for the A's, and Ray Durham are talking. And they were dissidents to the whole Moneyball, don't run, don't be aggressive on the bases thing. And Wash was very vocal in his opinions, and that remains true today.
He is not the most conventional manager even in game with some of the decisions that he makes, but he is aggressive. As Santiago hits one down the left field line, and Hamilton over to give it a look. Does he have a play? And reaching across maybe was a fan. Don't say it. Don't say the name. Yeah, I think that fan.
No relation to Steve Barton.
Ah, you said it.
I'm sorry. We have to identify him. We can't leave the audience in the lurch.
Moises Alou was the one down the line at Wrigley back in 2003. Not exactly the same situation.
No.
Here is a 1-1 to Santiago. That's foul.
It's funny, Joe, with the series that Nelson Cruz is having, how Moneyball and that book and movies kind of changed the language in baseball. Used to be that a guy like that was a money ball player. But since Moneyball players equal on-base percentages. So we've gone from clutch to on-base percentages.
95 from Holland misses inside, and the count 1-2.
Brad Pitt could win an Oscar for that performance in that movie, right?
Sure. Here is a chopper to Kinsler. He'll go to first for out number 2.
You didn't say that. You didn't agree with me with a great deal of zeal.
I'm not a member of the Academy. I don't know. I think, yeah, quite possibly Jonah Hill. All of them. The guy who played Ron Washington, he'll definitely be nominated.
He was terrific.
He was great.
Yeah. It's incredibly tough.
I didn't see it.
It's incredibly. Oh, you did?
I haven't seen it.
Get out of here.
I didn't see it yet. I will.
That's an automatic fine.
You're the one taking 2 games off in this series. I was working.
Yeah, but I didn't see Moneyball then. I saw it before that.
No, I will. I promise. My daughter saw it. My 15-year-old daughter saw it. Natalie, she loved it.
Did she?
Which
it's a good
tells me it's a great movie.
It's a good flick.
I think Brad Pitt had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Here's a fly ball into right. Well hit. This one's gone off the bat of Austin Jackson. And the lead now is 5 for Texas as Jackson goes deep into right. 9-4 here in the 5th.
Well, that's what AJ was talking about. How the Tigers can peck. 2-run home run by Austin Jackson. His first home run in the postseason.
And that could very well be it for Holland. And it is. He cannot get the win. Feldman will enter. It's a 5-run game in the 5th of Game 6 here in Texas. Scott Feldman did not get the win in Game 2, but he was certainly a big reason why the Rangers won that game on the grand slam by Nelson Cruz in the 11th. He relieved Eric Collin, went 4 1/3, no runs, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no walks. And he will take over with 2 out in the 5th inning and Rayburn up. Wouldn't take much more for the Tigers to feel they had a chance in this game. The tight breaking ball is in for a strike. Rayburn now, if he gets on Cabrera. A 5-run game in the 5th. 2 out. Strike 2. And they're not going to mess around. Alexi Ogando is getting loose. That is a ball into left, well hit. Back is Hamilton to end the inning. What a catch. Either a wince or a smile.
That might be one of the biggest catches when a team has a 5-run lead that you'll see.
What an effort by Josh Hamilton. Halfway through game 6. 9-4. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball across the country. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, top of the order will bat against Ryan Perry, who was facing Ian Kinsler. Ian with a 2-run single, a run scored his last time up. And he hit twice in that 9-run 3rd. Ball 1.
They had 5 hitters hit twice in that inning.
In the air to right center field. Well hit Austin Jackson. And it's dropped. Jackson and Rayburn came together, and Kinsler will end up at second base. You could see Jackson take his eye off it, call for it prior to that, and then Rayburn got his glove on it, couldn't hang on.
Miscommunication in right center field. It's actually Rayburn's ball, because the ball hit by the right-handed batter is tailing to the right fielder and going away from the center fielder. So it's Rayburn's ball, and he drops it when Jackson collides.
It's an error on Rayburn, the right fielder. Andres bunts, and it is perfect. Inge can't get the out. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And the Rangers come right back.
Boy, a beautiful bunt. At the very worst, it would be a sacrifice. Inge went back to the bag, then he charged, too late to get to Speedy Andrus.
And now Josh Hamilton, who just made that catch out in left. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And here's that catch.
Oh, that's some play.
See the give in the fence with him pressing back against that scoreboard out there. It's a metal fence with rubber coating. It has a lot of give, and that's good news for Hamilton and the Rangers. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Ball 1. One ball, one strike. Brad Penny getting loose again. Hamilton takes outside. 2-1. The 2-1. Good rip by Hamilton. 2-2. Geico in-game box score for the Rangers as they bat here in the 5th. And you'll see hits and runs and RBIs up and down that lineup.
And we're only in the 5th.
Big night from Michael Young, 4 RBIs. That ball will get out of play. Michael Young went the first 8 postseason games here in 2011 with no RBIs in the cleanup spot. He had 4 RBIs in that 9-run third. That is hit hard and deep. It will be a sac fly to the track. Tagging and scoring is Kinsler, and it's 10-4 in the 5th. As Hamilton just missed riding his first postseason home run out of here.
I think he hit it on the end of the bat. Looked like a changeup from Ryan Perry. Not quite enough. That ball tailing just on the end of the bat. But Hamilton gets the run in, and now it's a 6-run lead.
Rayburn got on the track. Kinsler scored easily. Kinsler reached on the error, and now the batter is Michael Young. Andrews at first, 1 out. And the Rangers have proven they will continue to run. Strike 1 on Young.
First LCS was 1969. That's when it was a best 3 out of 5 series. That continued for another 15 years. And then in 1985, the first 4 out of 7 LCS.
There goes Andrews on a foul straight back. And it's 0-2. Just to give you one more stat along those lines, since they went to best of 7 in 1985 in LCS history, the home team coming back for Game 6 up 3-2. Only 4 teams have lost in that situation in the LCS. 85 Blue Jays, 91 Pirates, 03 Cubs, and the 04 New York Yankees to the Red Sox.
That 91 Pirates team, of course, managed by Jim Leyland.
There he goes, pitch out, throw down by Avila. Is in time for out number 2. And it's a 1-2 count on Michael Young.
Easy play for Avila. Watch the pitch out. And a good throw to get Andrews.
That's out number 2 of the inning. And Young waits for a 1-2 from Ryan Perry. 2-2. Perry throwing hard. Tigers got 2 in the top half. The Rangers have come back with 1 and lead by 6. Full count. Broken bat just shattered. Inge makes the play and the inning is over, and Inge is saved again by Cabrera. 10-4. Rangers on top after 5 in Arlington. Tonight's game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball across the country. And by Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. Geico in-game box score for the Tigers. They have a home run from Austin Jackson. He has 2 hits. And home runs from Cabrera and Peralta, who hit one back in the second. At the time, he made it 2-0 Tigers. But the Rangers came up with 9 in the bottom of the third. And here is Ogando. And down by 6. First pitch swinging is Miguel Cabrera, and how good has Alexi Ogando, who started this year for Texas, been this postseason.
One of the better moves or non-moves by the Rangers in not having Alexi Ogando start here in the postseason, keeping him in the bullpen. What a shrewd move by Ron Washington and Mike Maddox.
What a weapon.
Ooh. He might have the best pure arm on the Texas staff.
The 0-2. Wouldn't go after it. The 28-year-old right-hander is Ogando from the Dominican Republic. And he starts his night with a strikeout.
Slider diving out of the strike zone to get Cabrera.
Last 7-run comeback in postseason history of the 08 Red Sox. Trailed Tampa Bay 7-0 in the 7th in Game 5. This is Game 6, and the Tigers are down by 6, facing elimination here tonight. Martinez takes a strike. Ogando is a starter this year. Started 29 games and was 13-8. ERA of 3.5. Here's a 1-1. Back up the middle, and Victor Martinez, 2 out of 3. 1 on, 1 out.
One out now, got 1 down. Base to base unless you can get there real easy.
You can hear Tom Brookins give the instructions base to base unless you can get there easy, meaning don't take third or try to, down by 6.
Run 1 base at a time when you're trailing by 6.
Delman Young at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Ball 1. Last year for the Rangers, when Texas got all the way to the World Series, Ogando worked only out of the bullpen. One ball, 1 strike. Tonight's Chase Freedom Cashback players to watch. Delman Young, who has hit 5 home runs this postseason. And Nelson Cruz, you know what he's done. We've talked about it all night, all series. Strike 2. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. Two out.
After the strikeout with the slider to get Cabrera, 3 sliders to get Delmon Young. So Gondo with that long reach. He's listed at only 6'4½", but has a tremendous wingspan.
Now
very long arms.
Peralta, who homered his first time, 1 for 2. On the outside corner, strike 1. We told you at the start Ron Washington was going to manage tonight like his team was down 3 games to 2. He wants it to end tonight, not have to worry about Doug Fister, the Game 7 starter. That's foul. And so he used Feldman for 1 out. He's got Ogando probably for 2. He's got Mike Adams and Feliz. That's foul. Where Napoli wanted it, 1-2. High heat 97. Wow. And Ogando strikes out the side. How about this Rangers bullpen? How about Ogando? 10-4 into the bottom of the 6th. After a 2-0 lead through an inning and a half, it's been all Texas. 10-4 here in Game 6, trying to win the pennant here tonight. And head back to the World Series for the 2nd consecutive year as Brad Penny takes over. First postseason appearance for Penny, so it's been a while. And welcome to the game. This ball is hit hard and off the wall by Beltran. 1 pitch and a double.
Talk about a guy who comes up looking fastball out over the plate, gets it, and just crushes it. It was like Game 1 or Game 2 when Beltran hit the first pitch high fastball off Jose Valverde. That was when the Rangers loaded the bases with nobody out in the 9th inning of a tie game. They eventually won it in the 11th, but they failed to score in the 9th.
Now Napoli. Ball 1. Perry did a nice job while he was in there, an inning and a third. A lot of run. It was not earned. A couple of hits. No walks or strikeouts. Good fastball at 94 from Penny. And it's 1-1. There's Nelson Cruz, who grabbed his side in his last at bat. Wants to keep going here tonight. The 1-1. That got Avila again. And he's laughing about it, but that's to keep from crying. It's been a painful postseason.
Nobody knows more about that than the guy at the bat. That foul ball right off the right shoulder. It's padded, but a pitch like that goes right through the padding. helps a little, but not much.
Here's home plate umpire earlier, Tom Hallion, talking to Avila.
Alex, buddy, how are you? Good, good, good. Have a good one and don't get hit too much. I got you. I'm good. Just because they're used to it. Just try to give him a little bit of time. Okay, no problem. You're unbelievable. I've never seen anybody get hit as much as you do.
Now Napoli hits a two-hopper to Peralta for out number 1. Those foul tips have just found Avila.
Alex's dad, who's the assistant general manager of the Tigers, his grandfather, Ralph Avila. Here's Al. Alex's grandfather, Ralph Avila, signing 39 Dominican players. Just unbelievable. And I mean big name players. One of the great scouts in the history of the game.
Runner at second, 1 out, and a ball down and away to Nelson Cruz. Hands down the MVP of this ALCS. To this point, Nelson Cruz in a single postseason series all time. Look at these names, including a longtime Texas Ranger, Juan Gonzalez. 5 home runs. As he gets under this one and fouls it down the left field line, 2-1. Five homers against Tiger pitching. The 2-1. Hard hit right at Inge. 2 out. Even his outs are loud. And once again, tonight's Volkswagen Passat trivia question. What's the meaning of the Mendoza line, and for which of these two teams did the person based on that phrase once play? It's a batting average around 200 in reference to Mario Mendoza, who was a shortstop for 9 seasons in the 70s and 80s. Had a career average of 215. So not 200. As they'll walk Murphy. And for Mendoza, primarily played for the Pirates, but also spent time with the Mariners and Texas. And in his native Mexico, his nickname is Manos de Sada, or Silk Hands, in honor of his fielding prowess.
One of the wonderful guys to have played the game over the last several decades, and I've always thought it was so unfair. The guy was a 215 hitter, and everybody identified him with a hitter that hit under 200 for his career, and that is simply not the case. A great guy with a great attitude about the whole thing.
Gentry will walk to the plate. Runners on at first and second, 2 out. Gentry is hitless, 0 for 2 since entering this game back in that 9-run third. Pinch hit for Endy Chavez. Tigers in the 7th will have the bottom 3 in their lineup: Avila, Inge, and Santiago. Ball 1 from Brad Penny, trying to get around that leadoff double. Left side, base hit.
Here comes Beltre. The throw by Young, not in time. And it's 11-4 Rangers in the 6th as Gentry gets in on the front.
Brad Penny failed to back up home, and that could have been another run scored, as Alex Avila actually barehanded the throw from Delman Young in left field. So 1 run scores easily, rather easily, Adrian Beltre. And Alex Avila barehanding the ball, but watch Brad Penny. He's supposed to be behind home plate, he's not. That leaves all this area back here available for if the ball gets by Avila and another run scores.
11-4. And here's Kinsler, 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Ian with 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Murphy went 1st to 3rd. These Rangers take an extra base any chance they get. They don't just slug. Base hit, and it's 12-4 as Kinsler knocks in his 3rd of the night.
Kinsler jammed a bit, but over the head of Inge to score the 12th run in this game.
Biggest lead of the night. Elvis Andrus at the plate. That gets away, and the runners advance.
We talked about the reputation of the Texas Rangers, Joe. That's the reputation they had when they were in 3 or 4 postseasons from '96 through '99. They just stood back and slugged. But last year and this year, they can pitch, they can hit, and they can run, and they can field.
Dave Dombrowski in his 10th year as GM of the Tigers. That is foul down the left field line. Dombrowski's won it all with Jim Leyland and the Marlins back in '97. And regarded as one of the best in any front office across baseball. Built the Marlins, built the Tigers with his friend Jim Leyland. He was trying to get him back to the World Series. They went there in '06. Two balls and a strike. On the outside corner, 2-2.
It's an old devil moon for the Tigers.
Here comes a 2-2 from Brad Penny. Andrus spoiled it.
That's the thing about the Rangers this year and last year as opposed to a decade ago. They don't strike out a lot. In fact, they struck out fewer than any other major league team. They are a group of individuals who can put the bat on the ball. Don't just stand back from their heels and launch things.
Here's a 2-2. Back up the middle, and Penny will end the inning with that play, but the Rangers get 2 more. And lead by 8 as we go to the 7th, game 6. Texas trying to end it tonight and head to the World Series.
Back after this from your local Fox station. It is game 6 here tonight in Arlington, Texas. Top of the 7th inning, 12-4 game. And Ogando back to the hill. He struck out the side in the 6th, got around a 1-out hit by Victor Martinez. Ball 1 inside to Alex Avila. Avila in Santiago. We're going to test your telestrator skills.
Good.
See if you're in postseason form.
I'm ready for it, pal.
Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Neftali Feliz will start throwing a rock around the bullpen. A weighted ball. Here's a 1-1. Good tight breaking ball from Ogando, strike 2.
Every time you see a closer with a weighted ball, you think of Mariano Rivera. He doesn't throw it, but it's one of his exercises. Feliz, one of the best in the game.
And Young, only 23. Wow. How about the combo of Feliz and Ogando? Between them, they can throw 200 miles per hour. Here's a 2-2. Avila clunks 1 to second. Kinsler has time. Okay, Tim, here we go.
All right.
1 out in the 7th. The playoffs continue tomorrow with game 6 of the NLCS. Hold on a minute. Between the Cardinals and Brewers at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TBS. However, if this series is over, nice. This network will carry the X Factor, an all-new 2-hour The X Factor tomorrow night, and TBS do like an arrow down. Well, it's over with. They become prime time.
So you think you're messing with, pal?
That was impressive. Troy Aikman is watching in Foxborough, Massachusetts, proud of the job you did with the telestrator. Fly ball into right center field, and Cruz can do it all. I mean, you talk about making hard things look easy. Using his arm, his bat, now his glove on the run in right center.
Well, you know, we talked about it when Rayburn dropped that ball, how it's the right fielder's ball and the right-handed hitter. You see clearly a right fielder's ball with the ball tailing back to him.
With 2 out, Santiago takes strike 1. So again, Cardinals and Brewers go to a night game tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TBS for game 6, with St. Louis up 3 games to 2 if this series is over. Here on Fox, the X Factor. With 2 out, nobody on, the 1-1 pitch from Ogando to Santiago. Popped up. Kinsler out a few. And it's time to stretch here in Texas. Nelson Cruz made that play for the 2nd out, and Ogando had an easy inning. Tonight's game is sponsored by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Brad Penny back to the hill. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits in the 6th. Josh Hamilton first up. Sac fly his last time up. Ball 1 up and away. They're watching down in Australia. They're watching all over the globe as the Texas Rangers trying to wrap up their 2nd consecutive AL pennant. The count 2-0. Hard hit. Cabrera makes the stop for out number 1. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Liberty Mutual. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Rangers have a 9-run third to their credit. Biggest inning in franchise postseason history. Michael Young with 4 RBIs in that long third. The Tigers have hit 3 home runs to account for their 4 runs.
Michael Young showing how he drove in 100 runs with hitting only 11 home runs in the process. Well, that's a ton of important hits for this ball club, and that's what he had in 1 inning tonight.
Here's the 1-0. When everybody was wondering if Ron Washington would move Michael Young out of the cleanup spot after going 8 games this postseason without an RBI, he said, "You're talking about Michael Young. He'll come around. He's my guy." And that's what these players love about Washington, is that he sticks up for his guys and doesn't embarrass anybody through the media or in that locker room. Here's one to center, and Washington's guy goes deep. And Michael Young hits his first of this postseason. Ball 1 to Beltre.
Hey, that's a lot of power for a hitter who only had 11 home runs during the season, to hit it about 430 feet to straightaway center field.
So Penny's had that long layoff after the regular season. He's given up 3. A strike to Beltre. Here's a 1-1. 2-1. Rangers players telling us during this ALCS last year when we got to the World Series, we tightened up. We didn't play our game. We didn't do what we did to get there. And vowed to let that not happen again as the count's full on Beltre.
That, coupled with the fact that they ran into a very, very good San Francisco Giant pitching staff. Lincecum, Kane, Bumgarner.
Count is full and Beltre steps out.
Closer Brian Wilson.
Two out. How about the season from Michael Young? Arguably the best hitter in franchise history, and he had a career high .338 average. He's won a batting title. Career high 106 RBIs. Another 200 hit season for the shortstop, third baseman, second baseman, DH, first baseman. And we started all over the place. Here's Napoli. Ball 1. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal. Kenny?
In Michael Young. Well, Michael Young has a lot of faith in Michael Young. And he's a guy much like Derek Jeter, relentlessly optimistic even when he's slumping. I spoke with him yesterday. I said, hey, are you coming around? And he said, yes. I was getting too late started with my swing. I've gotten my timing down, and here we go. And that's exactly what happened.
And he's had a big night.
Michael getting his 2000th hit on August 7th against Cleveland. Lots happened good for him this year.
A lot's happened good for Napoli as well as he gets his first hit of the night. Now Nelson Cruz. Remember we talked about Michael Young shaving before game 4. He's 6 for 15 with 7 RBIs since he took the beard away. Is this going to go? At the wall. He has got another. Unbelievable Nelson Cruz. Number 6.
Eight hits in the series, all for extra bases. 6 home runs. Breaks a postseason 4 out of 7 postseason record. Unbelievable. 2 doubles, 6 home runs.
He came close earlier back in the 4th inning when he flied to the wall in left center field. This was after it looked like he tweaked his side on a swing back in the 4th. 2-1 from Brad Penny.
Both the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers obviously have scouts at this game. What do they tell the Cardinals and Brewers how to pitch Nelson Cruz?
Well, right now you have to avoid him if you can. But this lineup is so good top to bottom.
Right.
They're all tough to pitch around because you work your way into a bigger inning.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who's hit 7th in every game of the postseason. 7th.
And now a walk to Murphy. Murphy's been on base 5 times. Bring in Craig Gentry. Well, he's got the records with 6 and 13. And it's 15-4, by the way. Texas on top here in the 7th. Looks like the X Factor will be on tomorrow night on Fox.
I think that's safe to say, yes.
And the TBS will be prime time. Brian, Ron, and John will get extra sleep. Ball 1 low to Gentry. There's one into left field. The hit parade continues. And so does the party in the seats here at Rangers Ballpark. Gentry, his 2nd hit. And that's it for Brad Penny. Al Albuquerque will take over. And Penny is gone here in the 7th. We've shown that a lot in this ALCS. He has hit 6. And the route is on here in Arlington. What a series. What a series for Cruz. Ian Kinsler first up against Al Albuquerque. Whoa. Right under his chin, and the runners advance to second and third. And now both benches have been warned. Home plate umpire Tom Hallion warned. That's what Leland thinks of the warning. As that one got away from Albuquerque up and in.
Boy, this is close and dangerous.
This was a big weapon that for the most part was not available to Jim Leland in this postseason. Leland was quoted during the week as saying he's like our Ogando. That's the kind of stuff he has when he can throw strikes, but he has looked unable to put it where he wants to this postseason. Here's a 2-0. And now after the warning, that one goes up and in, and Kinsler looks at Tom Hallion and says, well.
That's a breaking ball, though. Hallion knows that.
Here is a 3-0. 3-1. Inside again, and the bases are loaded. That'll bring in Elvis Andrus, the ninth man to bat in the inning.
Talked about Albuquerque and his control problems. That's why it's very difficult to say whether that was an intentional knockdown pitch. I don't think it was.
Here's one to the right side, comes up on Santiago, who recovers for the out.
But it looked like it was.
We go to inning number 8. The party is on here in Arlington. 15-4, Rangers on top. Tomorrow it's a doubleheader on Fox NFL Sunday, beginning with the NFC West leading 49ers in Detroit to take on the undefeated Lions. Or the Eagles, Skins, Rams, Packers, Panthers, Falcons. Then America's Game of the Week. The Cowboys take on the Patriots. The Saints and Buccaneers. Coverage begins tomorrow with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, as Mike Adams takes over for Ogando, who in 2 allowed 1 hit, struck out 3. Austin Jackson has 2 hits, including a 2-run home run. Two hops. Andrus, 1 out.
Once again, the bullpen for the Texas Rangers is sparkling. They will win this game. They will be given credit for a win, for their 4th win. This is the 154th series. That's World Series and LCS included. The only team to win 4 games, the best 4 out of 7, by their bullpen, the 1997 Cleveland Indians against the Baltimore Orioles. That is a remarkable statistic come up with by our guy who must be glowing now. Eric Mandia is in the truck, and that's fabulous. Wonderful.
1 out, nobody on. First pitch is a strike to Rayburn, who's bounced into 2 double plays and then was robbed of an extra base hit on a catch up against the wall by Hamilton and left. 0 for 3. 1-1 the count. That ball will get out of play.
And Joe, you talked about it earlier. that same year, 1997, the Cleveland Indians went to play the Florida Marlins. And their manager, Jim Leyland, his only world title.
And it was Nagy on the mound with Renteria at the plate. Extra inning, game-winning, series-winning base hit. Here is a 1-2 to Rayburn from Adams. A lot of arms and legs flying around when Mike Adams brings it to the plate. 2-2. In the air to left. Hamilton coming to grab it. 2 out. That will bring in Miguel Cabrera, who is 7 out of 19 in this LCS. With 2 home runs, he homered back in the first. The Tigers led this game 2-0 after a Peralta home run in the second, and then 9 runs by the Rangers in the 3rd inning blew this game open. A 9-run 3rd. The 2 out. Strike 1. We'll see these faces next week as the Rangers make a bid for their first World Championship. That ball is pounded into left center field, back at the wall, and it's his 2nd of the game. Into the bullpen to make it 15-5.
That should count for 2. My gosh. Hanging breaking ball from Mike Adams. And I mean, did Cabrera ever unload on that?
And even the Rangers fans behind the dugout applaud this as Cabrera comes back to the bench, just smoking that breaking ball. Ron Washington has nothing but respect for the ability of Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera now has hit in 13 straight LCS games dating back to '03 with the Marlins, when they played Chicago and then beat the Yankees in the World Series.
We talked about it earlier. Ron Washington surprised that Miguel Cabrera has not walked intentionally 200 times a year.
Big reason why is a guy at the plate now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the great statistics ever in 1961, when Roger Maris hit the 61 home runs, he was not intentionally walked once that year. The reason, of course, Mickey Mantle hitting behind him. So that guy hitting behind the sluggers, they mean a lot.
1 ball, 1 strike. Outside, 2-1. "14 home runs have been hit by the Tigers in this series. 11 of the 14 have been solo home runs. Including 3 of the 4 here tonight. That's outside, ball 3. Bottom of the 8th, you will get to see the big bats again. Mike Adams out of San Diego. The Padres dealt to the Rangers. And he is on his way to a World Series. Count still 3-2 on Victor Martinez. We're in the 8th. 15-5 Texas. Into center, another hit for Victor Martinez, who's had a nice night. 3 singles. And the 8th inning is still alive for Delmon Young. And a visit from Mike Maddox. We talked about it earlier. Maddox was the pitching coach in Milwaukee. And now every year he's been the Rangers pitching coach. This is his 3rd. Their team ERA, staff ERA has gone down every year in a tough place to pitch. Darren Oliver gets loose in case this inning starts to unravel. Here's Delmon Young.
Had a chance to talk with Mike before the game and talking about his starter tonight. And then upon leaving, I asked him about Greg. I said, is Greg going to continue to be with the Cubs? He said, I don't know.
Greg Maddux, a brilliant pitcher of the Cubs and Braves. That ends the inning and sends it to the bottom of the 8th. Long home run by Miguel Cabrera makes it 15-5. Rangers on top. Tonight's game is sponsored by Audi, Truth in Engineering. By Citibank, write your story with a new Citi Simplicity card. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And these fans have been since that 9-run 3rd, loving it. 15-5. Hamilton first up against Albuquerque, ball 1 up. Hamilton, Young, and Adrian Beltre. Albuquerque missed time with a concussion. And when he came back, his stuff was a bit diminished.
And erratic.
Two and one. Two and two. Rangers will not play around with this. They'll be leading by at least 10 in the 9th inning, and Feliz is getting loose. Nice pick by Cabrera. He's shown the world what he can do in this series. 1 out. Our Audi player of the game brought to you by the A8. True greatness should never go unrecognized. And it's Michael Young, who's been a great player for this franchise. 4 RBIs in that 9-run 3rd, and then a home run in the 7th.
That's a clinic, huh? Double down the left field line, double down the right field line, home run to straightaway center.
His double tied the game when he first came up in the 3rd, and then his double basically broke it open later in the 3rd. His homer just tacked on more in the 7th. 1 out, nobody on. And now Albuquerque showing you what he can do when he's on. It's 0-2. got him looking. And look at this offensive explosion the Rangers have had here tonight. Franchise postseason record. 15 runs total, 17 hits. That's a record. 8 different players have scored, and 7 different players have driven in at least 1 run.
Mount Etna. My gosh.
It has been a display put on by the Rangers. Their bats, their legs on the mound, out of the bullpen. Ball 1 to Beltre, who has a double, a single, an RBI, and he scored twice. There's the starter Holland, who could not get through 5. That's just a footnote. One ball, 1 strike. Strike 2.
Very few empty seats. Fans wanting to see the celebration here in Arlington.
And you're right with what you said earlier. This franchise has never enjoyed this kind of success. I don't think this fan base has ever felt better about this Ranger team than right now.
No.
And they are 3 outs away from stamping their ticket for the 2nd consecutive year to the Fall Classic. And we will have that and the celebration as we go to the 9th inning here in Arlington. Here is Neftali Feliz. 3 outs away from the World Series are the Texas Rangers. Johnny Peralta first up, 15-5 in the 9th. And it's 2-0. He's been perfect in save chances this postseason. This, however, not one. 3-1. Word is Ogando will get the win. Scherzer will get the loss, barring the miraculous. Shattered bat, foul ball, full count.
That's all Alex Avila needs. He was almost hit by that shattered bat in the on-deck circle.
On Wednesday, we will either be in Milwaukee or St. Louis for Game 1 of the 2011 World Series. Legends are born in October, in Game 1 of the World Series Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Peralta with a new bat.
Alex Avila has been hit every imaginable place in this playoff, and he's almost, you just have to laugh, don't you, Alex?
Here is a 3-2.
Here it is, the broken bat. I think Alex is familiar with that phrase that that white ball can find you and seems to find you in bunches, but not a bat too.
Another foul to keep it full. Tigers hoping to win here tonight and then hand the ball to him. Doug Fister, who has really emerged this postseason. Big pickup by Detroit. Another bat gets away, and this one is on the infield in foul ground, 1 out. Somebody got plunked with that bat right over the Tigers dugout.
Yeah.
Thankfully, everybody's okay, especially that kid who got hit, looks like in the wrist.
Jim Leyland orchestrating that and making sure that young man gets a bat. And obviously hope he's all right.
With 1 out, nobody on, here is Avila. There's no let up in this Texas lineup, and there's no let up in this Texas bullpen. Ogando to Adams, and now Feliz. Ball 1. We will have the trophy presentation on the field after this game. The count 2-1. Two and two. In the air to center, back at the track, at the wall. 2 out as Gentry hauls it in. In the air, shallow right. The Texas Rangers win the pennant. Second consecutive year. There's the MVP, Nelson Cruz. And in a 3.5-hour game, the Texas Rangers advance to the World Series with an exclamation point on the end of this ALCS.
There may have been some questions last year as to whether Texas was the best team in the American League. This year, there are no questions.
And we welcome you to the Chevrolet ALCS post-game show on Fox. The first AL West team to win 2 straight pennants since the A's did it back 88 through 90. Winning it all in 89 under Tony La Russa, who has his Cardinals 1 win away from the 2011 World Series. Nelson Cruz with his 6 home runs. A record-setting series, is the ALCS MVP. And let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. We're here with Adrian Beltre. Adrian, that 9-run third inning, what happened?
That was huge. You know, that's our offense. They held that off the whole season. They had really good pitching, but finally we were able to find out how to score like runs against them.
Nelson Cruz, 6 home runs in this series MVP. What can you say?
He was unbelievable. You know, I think every moment that we needed for him to come big, he did, and he was just unbelievable. Hopefully he can keep the same swing in the whole series.
Adrian, people talk all the time about the Yankees and Rangers, and this team's going to the World Series for the 2nd straight year. What does that say?
It says a lot, you know, but I wasn't here last year. And the main reason when I came here was because I knew this team gave me a good chance to go back to the World Series. I'm here right now. We just need to win 4 more games to win it all.
How much are you looking forward to it, simply being your first time?
I mean, it's what you dream of, just to be in the World Series, and you know, but we just don't want to go. We want to win it.
Adrian, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
He is a classy guy and such a big difference maker for the Rangers in 2011. Little flair, and this ended the ALCS. And the Rangers showed their many weapons tonight. Napoli in his first year in Texas. Ron Washington knows that feeling. They beat the Yankees last year, and they take care of the Tigers here in 2011. And let's go back down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, thanks a lot. Elvis, this place was rocking tonight. How much fun was it winning like this?
It was a lot of fun. You know, we did that last year, and be able to get back here in Texas, and give it, you know, all this, you know, championship to these fans. You know, it's pretty big.
Nelson Cruz, ever seen anything like it?
Well, I saw the same thing last year. You know, when he's on time, when he's clutching like that, he's gonna do a lot of damage. You know, he did that last year, and he just did it again.
Now, I asked Adrian this, but you've been here longer. People talk about the Yankees and Red Sox all the time, but you guys are the team going to the World Series for the 2nd straight year. What about the Rangers?
They do. You know, we don't really have too much expectation. We don't really you know, believe too much in us. But that's what it makes us, you know, get through. That's what it makes us, you know, show, you know, the rest of the world that we're here for a reason, and we're always going to be here because we have a lot of heart.
Now, you lost to the Giants last year. How much will that experience help you this time around?
It was big, you know. I still get mad for that, and that's the reason we're here. You know, as soon as the season began, we were hungry. We were hungry to get back, and thanks God, you know, we're back in here, and you know, another opportunity to win it all.
Elvis, congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny. Elvis Andrus, who's a part of that double play combination with Ian Kinsler. Over the fence they go, and on to the middle of the diamond to celebrate their 2nd franchise AL pennant. And Nolan Ryan, who is the first Hall of Fame executive as president to take this team into the postseason since Musial back in 1967 with the Cardinals, celebrating along with all these players a ginger ale celebration on the field here in Arlington. And we'll come back with a trophy presentation after we take a quick break on the Chevrolet postgame show as the Rangers are moving on to the World Series. And welcome back to the Chevrolet ALCS post-game show on Fox. Rangers have won it. They move on to the World Series. And we go down to the field and Chris Rose.
All right, Joe Buck, thank you very much. I am joined right now by many of the Rangers dignitaries up here, Ray Davis and Bob Simpson, the co-chairman, team president and CEO Nolan Ryan, the general manager John Daniels, and manager Ron Washington. For the 2nd straight year, your Texas Rangers are the American League champions. And here to present the trophy is the Honorary American League President, Mrs. Jean Autry.
Nolan, last year I gave you this trophy, and we in the American League expected you to beat the you-know-what out of the National League, and that didn't happen. So speaking on behalf of your fellow owners in the American League, we expect you to win the World Championship. I'm very proud and honored to present you with the William Heritage American League Trophy. And watch it, it's heavy. I mean, very heavy.
Nolan, you getting used to this?
Well, I really am fond of seeing Jackie every October, and it's amazing, but I have to say that I couldn't be prouder of this group of men that came together this spring on a mission with one thing in mind, and this is a stepping stone of what they want to get done, and that's to win a world championship and bring it back to Arlington. And I tell you what, between them and Ron's staff in our baseball department, our scouts, I couldn't be any happier and proud of the job that they've done. And our fans have supported us all the way through, and we all appreciate that. Thank you.
Nolan, this is a franchise that won one playoff game before last season. What turned you from that team into the defending American League champions?
Well, I feel like going in this year that we're a well-balanced ball club, and I think it showed getting to this point, and so I really feel like that's what get us through the World Series.
Nolan, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
The architect of the Texas Rangers, John Daniels, with me now. John, you made a huge signing in Adrian Beltre in the offseason, a big-time trade in pulling Mike Napoli over. But you were active at the trade deadline. You restocked that bullpen, and you gave Ron Washington a lot of toys to play with, and that's how he managed throughout the playoffs. That was some huge moves during July.
I thought Wash did a tremendous job using those pieces, and really my job's easy. You get a lot of good people together, a lot of good scouts, development folks, tremendous group of players we couldn't be prouder of. Hand them over to Wash and let him do the magic.
Congratulations, John. How's that sound, Ron?
Sounds tremendous. I'm so proud of my team. We couldn't have done it without their commitment and all the effort that they put in and the way they grind each and every single day. And all of us in this game know it's not easy to get back to this point. And those guys, I tell you, I tip my hat to you. And I didn't have to call very many meetings this year. They knew what was at stake, and they went out there and got it. And here we are with an opportunity to go back to the World Series and this time bring it back to Arlington, Texas.
Ron, it's been nearly 2 decades since a team that lost the World Series got back to the Fall Classic. Why was your squad so resilient this season?
Because they had attitude, they was committed, and they had a tremendous amount of effort. And they believe in one another, and they never cared who got it done, as long as it got done. And that's team right there.
Ron, how happy are you that you didn't have to pitch to Nelson Cruz this series?
I was very happy, but I could tell you what, if I did, I probably would have thrown breaking balls.
Have you ever seen a guy that's been on a run like him?
No, I haven't. Nelly worked hard all year, and coming down the stretch, he really didn't have a whole lot of at-bats. But he kept battling, and he kept working, he kept believing. His teammates supported him, and in the end, it all came together.
Ron, you are as energized a manager as there is in Major League Baseball. We see you with the feet pattering all the time. You're doing the windmill in the dugout, but today you broke out something new. You had the Ron Washington strut. What was that all about?
Well, the way the music was playing earlier before the game, if you couldn't get the spirit in you, I don't think you could have been able to come out here tonight and do what we did. They was feeling the spirit, so I wanted them to know I was feeling it also.
Ron, hopefully you have at least one more strut in you. We'll see you in the World Series. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to my team, the organization, and all these great fans.
Much more coming your way from the field here in Arlington, but right now back on upstairs to Joe Buck.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And they're already serenading the man who obviously will be the choice for the ALCS MVP. Here's how it ended. The final out. Back with the MVP trophy presentation after this. And welcome back to the Chevrolet ALCS post-game show on Fox. Texas Rangers have won the pennant, on to the World Series, and now back down to the field. Here's Chris.
All right, thank you, Joe. One more piece of hardware to hand out. Once again, Mrs. Jean Autry.
Thank you. I'm proud and pleased to present tonight on behalf of Major League Baseball the Lee MacPhail Most Valuable Player Award to Nelson Cruz. Nelson hit 6 home runs and drove in 13 runs during the championship series, and for that he's to be congratulated. He also had 2 walk-off home runs, so he did a wonderful job. Nelson, this is heavy, so I'm going to give it to you.
All right, Nelson Cruz, 6 cruise missiles, 13 RBIs. Those are single-season, postseason records for one series. Why, when the lights shine brightest, are you at your best?
First of all, thanks God, all my family, the fans. Thank you for your support, my teammates, and all the people that believe in me. And I cannot ask for anything else. You know, we're back to the World Series. We have a great group of guys, and I love all of them.
It looked like you were taking batting practice out there at times. Did it feel like it?
No, I mean, it's hard. I mean, like I said before, thanks God, you know, give me the chance when the team needs me. I'm delivering. So it was an amazing run. Everybody, I think, is get prepared after the season when we lost in the World Series last year. And the spring training, and we're back again in the World Series.
The fans here were serenading you with the Cruz sign. What is it like when you're hearing that?
It's special. I mean, nothing else I can ask for, you know. Like I say, they always support me, and they show us a lot of love.
Nelson Cruz, congratulations. Your ALCS MVP, everybody. Michael Young, come on in here. Michael, it took you more than 1,500 regular season games to make the postseason party for the first time. Getting back here must be awfully sweet.
It's very sweet. We got the loudest stadium in the country right now. I can't say enough about our staff, Wash, and our coaches, and I just have the best group of teammates I could ever ask for. It really is. It's an incredible feeling to sit up with these guys every day.
You know, last year you told me that you felt like you were happy to make the World Series, first time ever as a franchise. Is there something different in the eyes of these guys in the clubhouse this time around?
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, we're happy to be going to the World Series right now, but we got a lot of work to do. Happy but not satisfied.
I'm only guessing here, but you're going to go clean shaven for the World Series, correct?
Yeah, that beard sucked, man. Yeah, clean shaven for sure.
Michael Young, everybody. I got the Rangers second baseman Ian Kinsler here as well. Second time around, even better?
Yeah, a lot better. This is unbelievable. This has been an unbelievable season. These fans have sat through incredible heat, gave us great support, and love them.
How much did it drive you guys after you lost in 5 games to the San Francisco Giants last year to get back and put yourself in position to win it all?
I mean, anytime I talked to one of my teammates, all we talked about was thinking about that during our workouts. Work hard, get prepared, and be ready to be back in this spot right here.
Looking forward to going to either St. Louis or Milwaukee next week?
Sure, doesn't matter to me.
Ian Kinsler, congratulations, and congratulations to your American League champion, Texas Rangers, everybody. Let's send it back upstairs to Joe Buck.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Nice job down there on the field, and congratulations to the Texas Rangers and Nelson Cruz. Absolutely brilliant. Pounding 6 home runs, driving in 13. He made a lot of pitchers look over their shoulders this series. We'll come back to Arlington after this. Welcome back to the Chevrolet ALCS postgame show on Fox. We take another look at the final score, and these Rangers celebrate tonight on a Saturday night. They do not have to play baseball until Wednesday night in either Milwaukee or St. Louis. Tomorrow night on Fox, because this series just wrapped up, Sunday night, an all-new The X Factor, a 2-hour The X Factor at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on Fox. We take a look at a World Series preview. We know the AL part. The Texas Rangers advanced to their 2nd straight World Series, lost to San Francisco last year. You see the Cardinals' resume, and the Brewers got there back in 1982 when they lost to St. Louis, and they were a part of the American League. As we continue on in the Chevy postgame, we hear from Jim Leyland of the Detroit Tigers, who's standing by with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks. We're here with Jim Leyland. Jim, you had a tremendous season. You won the Central. You beat the Yankees in the Division Series. What did you tell your team?
I just told them I couldn't be more proud of a team than I was of this one. And, you know, I tip my hat to the Texas Rangers. They're the team that should be representing the American League in the World Series, and they are. They earned it. And like I say, I don't think you make too much of the game we played tonight. You know, I thought too many people were criticizing the Yankees instead of giving us credit, so I'm certainly not going to be upset about the way we played tonight, the way we pitched, whatever. I'm going to give the Texas Rangers credit. That's what you do.
You had so many injuries. You had so many guys physically worn down. And you've talked about what a sports team can mean to a city. What do you think you guys meant to Detroit?
Well, I think we encouraged a lot of people, and you know, everybody has injuries, so I mean, we have no excuses. We just didn't get it done. They were better than we were when they had to be, but hopefully we uplifted the spirits of a lot of people in Detroit. We certainly tried to, and they were loyal to us, and I think we were loyal to them. We just didn't go quite as far as we wanted to.
How good is that team you just played?
Well, it's a very, very good team, particularly in this ballpark. It's a very dangerous team. They got a little bit of everything. You know, they got speed, they got some defense, they obviously got power. I think Ron made a tremendous move putting Ogando in the bullpen for the series. I think that was a great move. You know, they're the real deal. They're very talented, and they're very deep. You know, so you know it should be a good World Series. Whoever represents the National League, and like I said, certainly Texas is the team that should be representing the American League.
Jim, thank you very much. Back to you.
All right, very classy, and simply stated, Jim Leyland is one of the best ever to manage in the big leagues in the postseason for the 6th time, and he could not get his Tigers back to the World Series. They were there back in '06. But let's talk about Texas. Their offseason started with Cliff Lee leaving and going back to Philadelphia. They had to rework some things, and here they are, and I think everybody agrees they're a more dangerous team this year than they were a year ago.
Well, I think Nolan Ryan put it best when he talked about the balance of the Texas Rangers. I mean, we talked about it during the telecast. From 96 to 99, the Rangers could hit, and they could really hit. But now they can pitch, they can run the bases, and can they ever hit? And think about their defense. I mean, Nelson Cruz with that marvelous offensive exhibition, and then throwing out Miguel Cabrera in Game 4, one of the big plays in the game.
Meanwhile, what they were able to do out of the bullpen, they can shorten games. They needed that bullpen, and Alexi Ogando proved just how big of a weapon he can be here in October. That's it from us for just a while. Let's go to Chris Rose.
All right, Joe. Right now by Eric Karros and the White Sox World Championship catcher A.J. Pierzynski. Congratulations, EK. Good pick.
Yeah, you like that. Hey, I want congratulations to you. Did somebody tell you there were free desserts up here? You got up here so quickly, I couldn't believe it.
Hey, listen, I know I've got a little gravy on my hairline right now. I got cardio in the morning, in the afternoon, and night.
I think we ran out of makeup. We had to pat you down so much. I mean, here.
Let's congratulate the Texas Rangers. It's been a full decade since an American League team made it back-to-back World Series appearances. What impressed you most over these 6 games?
You know, I think their resiliency, because there were many close games, and I've been waiting to see the offense that I finally saw tonight. And if this is the way they go into the World Series and the way they play in the World Series, I don't know how they can be beat. They scored 12 runs tonight and did not hit a single home run. One guy after another, base hit, base hit. They drew walks. They ran the bases well. These guys are as deep as any ball club there is in the major leagues.
Jim Leyland summed it up best for me when he said this is the team that should be representing the American League in the World Series. They got the right team. They're unbelievable. This whole series, they did everything right. Everything from pitching to defense, hitting home runs with Nelson Cruz. Michael Young got in on the fun here tonight. But other than that, they ran the bases well. They caught everything that was hit to them. They did it all. They're the right team for me. My Tigers didn't work. But hey, EK, I give you credit. You picked it right from the beginning.
All right, so obviously congratulations to the Texas Rangers as the Champagne Dreams start right now in Arlington. We're going to be back here next weekend for games 3, 4, and 5 if necessary. Guys, quickly, where are we starting game 1 of the World Series Wednesday night? Milwaukee or St. Louis?
Well, you know, tough to go back to Milwaukee and win for St. Louis, but it just seems like everything is lining up for St. Louis. Just the way they get into the postseason with Philadelphia knocking out Atlanta, then the way they got by Philadelphia, things just seem to be lined up for the Cardinals. I wouldn't be surprised. St. Louis and Texas.
Man, we got to disagree again, don't we, EK? I just like Milwaukee. I think they're going to figure out a way to win 2 games at home. They were one of the best teams in all of baseball at home. I think they'll find a way. We keep showing video of these guys celebrating. You want to talk about the greatest feeling? Well, the second greatest feeling, getting to the World Series. The greatest feeling is winning the World Series. These guys are just going to live it up right now.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. AJ, great job. We'll see you again during the World Series. EK, we'll catch you next Wednesday as well. Now, quick reminder, because there is no Game 7 of the ALCS tomorrow night, a special 2-hour X Factor.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Very, very good. All right, coming up next on all your Fox affiliates except on the West Coast, it's your late local news, followed by Fox Late Night, Hell's Kitchen, and New Girl. Tomorrow, it's a huge day of football on Fox with exciting doubleheader action. The 49ers and the Lions headline our Game 1 slate, while the Dallas Cowboys battle the New England Patriots in America's Game of the Week later in the afternoon, or the Saints meet the Buccaneers. It all begins with the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Then Wednesday night, Fox Sports is your exclusive home for the 2011 World Series with Game 1 getting underway as the Texas Rangers face either the St. Louis Cardinals or the Milwaukee Brewers. Our coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Promotional consideration paid for by the following. For more information on tonight's game and the latest in Major League Baseball news, log on to foxsports.com, powered by MSN, the world's favorite sports site. For Joe, Tim, Eric, Ken, AJ, and the rest of our entire Fox crew, I'm Chris Rose saying so long from Arlington. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers, the champions of the American League.